Welcome in, boys and girls. It's Monday night. It's the live line powered by sportsbookreview.com. As we try to get back to normal after a really, really shitty Sunday with the passing of Kobe Bryant. We made money yesterday on the show. We're going to try to make money again tonight. Obviously, basketball takes center stage now until Sunday. And I've got the boys with me. Maxwell Smart taking care of college basketball on the ones and twos, and Spread with us to take care of the NBA, and me to run the ship. Ant might show up. Tyler's working tonight, so he won't be here. He'll be back later in the week. And that is it. So how are we, boys?
You know, it's another day, and that's all I can say on that.
Spread, what's up,
I'm doing
buddy?
good tonight, Jay. I mean, we didn't have to be on early today because I didn't like where this line closed at this Pistons game. It's pretty much right where I was at when I ran my model this morning. So I just got my eyes on this one, but it'll probably be at least a quarter before we even make a move. So we got some time to settle in and discuss the goings on in the world before we make any plays. How are you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in, boys. I'm hanging in. So let's talk about this basketball card. I watched about half of your segment today, Max, before the show started with Jimmy. Saw some of the plays that you were on. Obviously, I know you're on a ton of plays. Any games in particular that haven't started yet that stand out to you tonight?
Listen, Jay, I'm a volume better, so any bet that I make, I have the intention on winning, so it's not really a matter of a bet standing out. If you watch the show, you know what my action is. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what my action is. And we're just going from there. The play of the day is an interesting play for me today. Ran some numbers on this Morgan State, Maryland Eastern Shore. Saw that there was a edge by my estimations, and took the under 63. So I'm quite nervous and anxious for that game to start and for that half to happen. And listen, I'm just watching some of this basketball right now. I got the American game on. I got the Norfolk State game on. I got the North Carolina game on. So.
What were you on in that North Carolina game? Plus the points, right?
Yeah, I'm on plus the points, and I'm on the over in that game. So it'd be nice to get a nice dub to start the night. I'm on the over in the Norfolk State game. That's a little hit or miss right now. There were some cappers that I have respect for every other day that are on the under, but I am on the over. The taint play of the day was Norfolk State, so I do know that a lot of people will be betting with the taint master Matt Randall, but I do know that a lot of people that are cucks. I won't name his name, but it's like people catch the animal and then use its fur to make things out of. Guys like him, they fade the taint play of the day, so it is what it is.
So just to be clear, the play of the day was first half under 63 in what game?
In the Morgan State game.
Okay.
So I think that I'm going to have Howard and Coppin State on the Bet365 live betting menu. So I will be monitoring that game in case the total gets way out of hand early on. I'm looking to avoid getting killed on some totals that just go crazy. In the Lehigh American game, I am on American. It's not an official play first half, so I didn't expect anybody to tail it. It was just more a play for me personally. And I'm on the under for the show with a 131 live total. So we're getting to the point where I'm going to be looking for a middle. If this game hits 125, I definitely will be looking for a middle because last time these two teams played, it was very heavily offensive based. They got to the 150s, and at this point right now, it's looking kind of hard for them to get anywhere near
that. In the association, one game started already. The Cavs up 12-8 right now on Detroit. I found out today that the NBA has only ever canceled one game, I think, and it was the JFK assassination. But the Lakers Clippers game tomorrow has been postponed. That I know.
Yep. I think it
Other
makes
than
sense.
that, I think every other game is a go besides that.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. And I think it makes sense. I think they are handling it appropriately.
So we got some NBA games today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games total. Spread. Did you like anything in the 5 games that haven't started? I retweeted the article that you wrote in the Oklahoma City Thunder game. I know that you're on OKC, right? Plus the points.
Yeah, and the good thing is since I wrote that article, well, I don't know if it'll be good. We'll find out. But for people who want to get on it and have not yet played it, the line's moved to +5 because Chris Paul's out. Said personal reasons. My guess would be that he didn't feel like playing with all the bad news. I'm just speculating, though. I don't know. But what I do know is he will not be playing, and that moved the line 3 points in his favor. Is Chris Paul worth 3 points? I don't think so. So I still like the play at the new number. And for those of us stuck on the old number, it is what it is. I actually went back in at the +5 for a little bit more because I just think that it's kind of an overreaction. The other things that happened in injury news since the writing of the article, and that's how fun this is. I turned in at midnight last night or whatever, and so much has changed since then. But Gallinari, who I didn't expect to play, got cleared, and Nerlens Noel got cleared too for the Thunder. So now I really think that the big name of Chris Paul is offsetting these crucial pieces that the Thunder are getting back. So I still like the +5 pregame. And just to review the rest of the games, Kings T-Wolves had it right at my number. We'll look for a live spot, but I didn't like a pregame play there. Spurs Bulls, I lean the Spurs, but I definitely want to check that one out before getting in. The Houston Rockets Utah Jazz has moved to 14 off an opener of 9, and now even the first half is kind of unplayable. So maybe a live spot there, but I don't like the pregame there. If you play that game, you have to take the points, but I don't even know if I would want to take those points. Knicks are playing the Hornets. That's another one. I don't even trust my numbers on these two teams because their performance fluctuates so much. Hawks are getting 12.5 in Toronto. The number seems right. And I was looking at tomorrow's card too. I'm sorry. So for tonight, the Jazz is the last one, right?
Yeah.
So I went over everything.
Yeah, 13 and a half.
I ran tomorrow's numbers too because I'm going to be a little busy. So I ran numbers for both games already today.
Are the Jazz that good that they're giving up 13 and a half at home? I know.
Well, no Harden and no Westbrook. No Harden, no Westbrook. So it's just where's the offense going to come from? Yeah. That's the issue there. So Eric Gordon's going to be the number one option with Clint Capella. I mean, I think that number is pretty much right. Almost like you'd have to take the +14. I wouldn't want to lay the -14 in that Jazz game, but that will definitely one to be getting an eye on if the Rockets get out to a hot start, and maybe we can get a better number.
No Harden, no Westbrook, no Capella. And the Jazz have looked.
Capella's out too? Oh, wow. Yeah, we got to watch this one then just to see what this team looks like.
Yeah, the Jazz have been so good, man, over the last 25 games. It's crazy.
Yeah, good team. Very good team.
What else? Last night there were 2 plays pending when we left the show. Damian Lillard over 3.5 threes. We cashed that, but Carmelo Anthony only had 1 turnover, and the line was 1.5. So we split those games last night. So right now, live line stands at 304 wins, 211 losses. We're hitting winners at 59%, and we are up just under 140 units. This is our 51st show since we started keeping track of the numbers. And going into tonight, we're making an average of 2.78 units per show in profit, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It really is. What we do is really, really amazing. So we'll try to build on the profitability tonight. Luka's not 100%, Captain Tap says.
Yeah. I mean, that would only help our cause. I actually didn't read that. But to be fair, I did take a quick break from between about 2 to 3:30, and I was getting a bunch of messages like, Chris Paul's out, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me check this. Oh, let me check this. Dug back in with about a half hour to go to get the latest on the injury news, but I didn't read anything about Luka not being 100%. So be interested to see the source on that and whether it's mental or physical.
Nilo says, why no ticker on the bottom anymore? We have a ticker every night on this show, but we need plays to put on the ticker before it starts rolling, buddy. That's how it goes. What about props? Any props that you
anyways,
like?
I was thinking about going Towns overs in the Kings game. Let me get official numbers. If we want to start one official play and get our ticker started, I do like the Thunder at that +5. That's too much of an overreaction, and I think we're getting a great number. So we'll give out the +5 right now. So we got a play and the ticker rocking and rolling. And then let's take a look at these props, and I think you might get some better numbers if you want to pull them up too. I'm seeing 27.5 for Towns going against the Kings with no Bagley and no Holmes, but -160. Boy, I mean, can you just move the number 29 for me and let me play normal juice? So let me check some other books.
What do you have? OKC +5 -110.
Yep. And I see that at Bovada right now for those of you using offshores. I was talking to Gregory Wilson, who's in the chat right now. He's saying the ankle, and I was talking to him about this Towns game earlier, and he's on the points and the rebounds for him to take advantage of the depleted Kings middle. So I'm going to go to 5 dimes to try and get some of those numbers. But I think that he's got a good idea there, and we were discussing it earlier. Just the Kings are kind of middle right now, so it's a perfect speed for Towns to go to town, so to speak.
Miami Heat's been a surprising team this year, right? What do you think about them against the Magic?
I want to hit them live. The opener, I almost considered taking it at the opener, even though like it wasn't enough of an edge to take it, and I didn't. But I almost took it just because I knew the line was going to move, and I just wanted to be on the right side of that line. But I figure I think we're going to try and get a dive on that one. I would say a -3 or better is a nice buy point for the Kings. I mean, the Heat. So we'll watch that game and see if the Magic can keep it close. We can get a better number, but -6 seems right about right. It opened at 4.5, so I definitely don't want to get involved right now. I think we can get at least 4.5 or better if we just wait. So 5 dimes at 27.5 is -140. Go ahead.
With all these players that are out for Houston, who stops Rudy Gobert from getting as many rebounds as he wants? And who stops Donovan Mitchell from scoring whatever he wants?
I think Gobert would be the better look there because they still have okay defensive wings. I'm trying to think they would have who will they likely match up on Mitchell? Eric Gordon's not that good. Let me pull up their roster right now. I think that Gobert is the better look.
15.5 rebounds.
Okay defensively. Oh, wow. Well, that's about his season average, actually.
Yeah. Who normally guards him for Houston?
Well, it would be Capella. So
right,
I'm looking right now. They don't even have a center. Oh, they have Tyson Chandler, who was visibly upset by the news yesterday. He was one of the people taking the most hard by it, but he actually was a contemporary and played in the league with them, so that makes a little more sense. So Hartenstein will get some minutes, and I've actually liked him actually on the offensive end. He looks well, does well in the Rockets system. Will he be able to stop Gobert, though? I think he's a little too small. But what we'll be looking at is Ben McLemore, who's not really that good a defender, Daniel House, who's an average defender, and PJ Tucker, who's a pretty good defender, taking turns with Mitchell. So I still think the Gobert is probably a better look.
Angles he's at his normal 2.5 threes made at plus 135. That's basically been his number all year.
Yeah, and I think the books like that number, right? Doesn't it seem like it hits about half the time?
Yeah.
So they don't really have an incentive to change it. You know, it's not like they're getting crushed on that number like the assist number they were.
Nilo Max, speak.
Milo, I'm lacking energy because I haven't had one of those fantastic open-faced danishes from that wonderful Bathurst and Finch bakery. So I'm lacking. Maybe I'll be able to pick it up with a winner or two in the first half, but I don't want to start muching bets before they're finished. You know what I mean? You little slut devil.
Perfect Rotation says, you guys are live on a Monday? What? We've been live every Monday but one since October 1st,
Was our competition...
wasn't Monday Night Football your best shows?
Yeah. I mean, we did every Monday night the entire season with Jimmy and Flash.
You must have...
Yeah, before it came on, it seemed like that's when you had the most viewers. Like, the viewer count would always be high and the chat would be popping on Monday nights.
Yeah, and Thursday.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Maxwell? Max?
Oh, no, I shook my head no, hoping that I wouldn't have to speak again about it. I'm just watching basketball, bro. I'm just watching basketball. I'm watching North Carolina beat fucking NC State right now. They're up 28-23. I'm watching Florida A&M fucking get their fucking asses waxed by Norfolk State. They're like, yeah, bitch, we lost the bet. All right, we're pulling our pants down. You can fucking put the hot wax on. Just don't rip all the skin off. And I'm watching my American Eagles. They were down early. They're up now. That's all that matters. And maybe they can win a first half for me. So, just relaying my energy of immense respect for all these basketball teams and hoping that they do some catching for me. Speaking of games, 7:30 just started, except that's false. When you look at those fucking MEAC games, they never start on time. So, where's my SPR odds page? Fuck, I gotta have my SPR odds page. So should you guys. Open up that SPR odds page, tap that link in the video description, go to www.sprvideo.com/liveline. You know what to fucking do. Make sure SPR knows that you guys like this show, and maybe it'll be on after this week. Yeah, with MEAC games, definitely be aware that most of them start around 7:45, 8 o'clock-ish. So if you're looking for a stream, you may be disappointed. So I've had it happen to me many times.
Hey, Ant.
Hello.
How you doing today, bud?
I'm all right. So, what are you guys on? I'm a little late to the party.
We're giving out officially is
business.
+5.
There's one play at the bottom of the screen.
Ah, cool.
OKC +5, yeah, so far.
All right.
Doncic 3 props is 2.5 at -180 to the over. Jeez.
Why are they an underdog at home?
Why don't they just put 3.5 up? Mavericks are one of the best teams in the league.
I'm going to check the other books.
Why are they on underdog at home? Is Dallas that much better than them?
The Mavericks are one of the best teams in the league. Yeah, and they're missing Chris Paul, their point guard. Yeah, but just in perception, everyone, because the Mavericks have an MVP candidate in Luka Doncic that gets a lot of attention. They're perceived to have more potential as a team to advance in the playoffs, when you need those superstars. So they're just kind of considered the better team, even though the numbers actually indicate they're pretty close. Although Dallas does have a much higher margin of victory, is what leads their net rating to be
Chris
3
Paul's
points
out
higher.
too.
That's where you get this
Oh,
number.
okay.
Yeah, Chris Paul's
That
out
makes
too.
a lot of sense.
Over 2.5 threes at -160, which is 20 cents better. See what Bet365 has.
Yeah, I got over 2.5 at -150 on 5 dimes. And I was looking up Gallinari because someone had made a point about him. I don't know, 20.5. He should get the extra points there, but they juiced that higher than it should be.
Nasty Nate asking what I'm on.
22 is right.
I'm not on anything. I'll tell the Thunder +5, but I'm just here to tail Max and spread and hang out with Jay. Nello's interested in what I'm drinking. It's coffee. Folgers
Melo's
Colombian
interested in you, period.
I know, it's kind of creepy. But, I mean, it's nice to have a fan.
He's a big ant guy.
Yeah. He says he's no stalker, so you don't work in retail. Okay. So you don't stock shelves. All right.
That's just silly.
Triple Beans wants to know if I'm on any soccer today. No. I had a really good week last week in soccer. I probably should have shared my plays more. I did share some of them. There's a lot of cup matches midweek, and I'm not a big fan of betting cup matches, so I'm not really on much soccer tomorrow, and I wasn't on ENI today.
JM wants to know if Eric's model gave out any NHL plays.
It probably did. I haven't talked to Eric today. I'll ask him. I'll ask him before our Thursday night show. I'll make sure I got something for you guys. But
Max, you laid the points with North Carolina A&T.
No, I'm only on the over. I didn't bet the side.
Oh, okay.
You interested in any political props that you can bet, but you don't got to wait until the nomination's official to cash?
I have to open up an offshore book in order to bet them.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat, though, have access to them. I know Deerslayer sent me a bunch that he was looking at earlier. But I honestly, like right now, you can take Sanders is, depending on the book, between -130 and -150 in the Iowa caucus. He's also -1. He's about -$2 in the New Hampshire primary, but I think he should be way, even at -$2, I think he's way short there. No value in taking Biden in the South Carolina primary. And Biden's going to win that, but you got to lay like $6 to $7, depending on the book, to bet Biden. But if you can get Sanders short of $2 in the Iowa and the New Hampshire votes that happen next week, that's absolutely something I think is a steal. For the nomination, I mean, it's Sanders and Biden are two favorites. They're both hovering around plus 150. I don't really know who was going to win that. I would think the value is on either side, really, because it's going to be one of those two. So you get them both at plus one, at decent plus money if you're an arbitrage kind of feller. But that's an arbitrage bet that's going to last until June, so it's not really worth doing. But so that's my early take there on some of these early primaries because I like betting politics.
The next college basketball game that goes off is Northern Arizona. I know, Max, I was watching the show. You like over 124 and Northern Arizona -3, right? That line's now -2.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I was arbing last night when I made these bets. Right. This is what. Jay?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard you speak and say that sentence again. So I was like, someone turn on.
No, that was me. I turned because the chat. I had to use the phone. I didn't have my media down.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I turned on the chat because I was going to type back. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no. I just got thrown off there. And I thought it was Ant personally, so I was gonna chirp him about it.
Yeah, it's the first time. Yeah, you're right, Max. It's the first time I've streamed.
Well, listen, bud. Look at that fucking Tottenham toque that you're wearing.
It's fucking cold, dude.
Bro, grow some fucking hair or wear a wig.
Oh, you're telling me to grow?
Trap a fox and then skin it and then fucking make a hat out of fox fur. I know a fox that I'd like to see.
He said you're telling me to grow?
Shut up, Jersey. Go fucking filter your water.
All right,
Sterling Ross in the chat says Tottenham blows. I mean, they could be doing better this year, but I've been a diehard
if
Tottenham
they don't
fan
have
since
Harry
last
Kane,
season,
they don't deserve anything. And they just lost. They just gave Eriksen away. They're like, yeah, Eriksen, we're not going to fucking appreciate you. We're just going to sell you Inter Milan because, we don't fucking think that you fit it anymore.
Well, he should be happy going to Inter. Inter's probably going to win the Serie A title this year.
Yeah, but why would you want to go to Italy if you can play in fucking England and go to West London instead of having to stay in North London?
All right,
fuck West London.
Fuck North London.
If I was going to tail one of these Northern Arizona plays, Max, is there one that you like slightly more than the other?
Just because I was arbing when I made these bets last night, it's really just like a value percentage play. I like Northern Arizona to win at home. I think that this is a revenge spot. This is a spot where if they don't get a 10 for 13 shooting performance from Joshua Patton, are they actually winning that game? We've seen Northern Arizona play much better at home. They've been able to come back from deficits. And to add on to that, this Sacramento State team has yet to prove to me on the road that they can win games. So I would say the Northern Arizona side, just because you're going to get a better number. But I like both equally.
Right. Okay. North Carolina's having a nice first half for you.
Yeah, but I didn't bet the first half, so it's all fucking nonsense if North Carolina State opens the second half with a 12-0 run.
True that.
And also, my perception was that Manny Bates and Pat Andre wouldn't play, and they're both in the lineup, so that affected it also. But as long as North Carolina keeps on taking it to the bucket, where they have the advantage with Garrison Brooks and Armando Bacot, they're going to be okay. Bacot's coming off that really nice double-double. Could have been a triple-double against Miami. The guy makes free throws. He's not afraid to take it to the bucket. I'm not really a big fan of his hair style, but kid's fucking putting in work the last couple games. So
I saw a lot of people on Wisconsin, but I saw that you were on Iowa and the under. What numbers did you get on?
Yeah, those? I got Iowa at 5, and I got Iowa under 138. So good numbers. That's what made the bet worthy. And listen, when I'm arbing, I'm not really. I'm capping based on what I've watched. I'm not pulling up numbers or doing anything like that. I'm letting the software do the work for me. So it's just good. Excuse me, I got 137. It's just good that people get the understand that, So maybe,
Yeah, it's 130, 135 now.
yeah, it may make them like the play a little more though. All right, let's see what's going on in this Maryland Eastern Shore game. Has that started? No, not till 8 o'clock. North Carolina A&T game doesn't look like it's starting until 8 o'clock. So they tell you that these games are starting at fucking 7:30, but they're not starting at 7:30. They're just lying cut.
The late game on ESPN is Oklahoma State, Kansas. I saw that you took Okie State plus 8.5. That line is now plus 7. So anybody that wants to tail max on that would probably have to try and get 8.5 live.
And I'll say this also: this is the one Big 12 matchup where Kansas, year in, year out, have problems with the style and the size that Oklahoma State's gonna put out tonight. We're talking about a lot of guys that are 6'6" and taller, from the 2 to the 5. And with Thomas Dzingwa coming off the bench and literally being told, this is what you do. You come on the floor and you shoot the fucking basketball. It's been great for the team. It's been great for him. So
we're also talking about a team that is dealing with suspensions, right?
But that's not even a big deal in my mind. McCormick and De Silva are not key pieces for this team. They're depth pieces, if that. De Silva, he's been a fucking he's nothing impressive. McCormick's a bigger loss.
You mean?
Yeah, D'Souza, excuse me.
Yeah.
D'Souza, not that big of a loss, but McCormick, he's a loss in case Azubuike gets in foul trouble. So when you got the best point guard in the Big 12 in Devonta Dotson, and then you have Azubuike, and then you have one of the best on-ball defenders in the nation in Marcus Garrett, who brings good size and plays 3 or 4 different positions, I think you're going to be okay. Talk about Isaiah Moss, the Iowa transfer. He can shoot the 3 ball. Obachi, they fucking took off his red shirt last year. He's a fucking solid shooting guard scorer. Kansas is going to be a tough out for Oklahoma State, but I got to go with what the numbers think that there's value, and let's not joke around. We've seen how road favorites in the range of 5 to 9.5 points have done. I was a victim of San Diego State and that kind of bullshit, so I'm not going to fucking make the same mistake with numbers over and over again. And I felt like at this range and in this situation, it would be making the same mistake.
There were 5 games that I didn't have time to watch what you were on, so I'll just throw them out. Alabama, A&M Southern.
Nothing.
Alcorn State, Alabama State.
Yeah, I'm on Alcorn State full game.
What line did you get there?
I think I got 6.5.
Okay. Texas Southern, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, I took the over in that game. I didn't take the side. I would lean with Arkansas Pine Bluff, but on the show, I was very unsure of myself. After the show, I did a little more research and realized that I think Pine Bluff could score the basketball a little more than I gave them credit for, and I think against Texas Southern and their pace and tempo, this game should be able to get over 134.5.
Mississippi Valley State, Prairie View.
Yeah, I'm on the over. I know that my friend Noli knows my master Jedi of unders is on the under in this game, but it's a loss that I'll take, or it's a play that I will buy out of.
What number did you get? It's 152.5 right now.
Yeah, I think that I got 153. Let me just open up my bet page. Yeah, I got over 153 at minus 110 juice. So, listen, regardless of what Mississippi Valley State has done lately, because they have been a better defensive team, this Prairie View team, they do things grimy. They do it junkyard style. They're going to fucking get on the glass. They're going to get to the free throw line. They're going to get second chance opportunities. Then they're going to tip balls up. A lot of good leapers on that team. So You want to give me Darius Williams, you want to give me Devontae Patterson, I'll take those two mid-wing players to take care of business and get me some points. Because you have to remember, Jay, Valley State has the best scoring duo in the SWAC, and Caleb Hunter and Michael Green. So it's not like they can't score the basketball. And there was a kid Simmons, I can't remember his first name. He came off out of nowhere, not even a double-digit score, put up 27 in their last game. So there's scoring to be done, in my opinion. That game.
The last two games were Northern Colorado, Eastern Washington.
Yeah, this is the game where I was definitely looking towards Northern Colorado being the better defensive team, and Eastern Washington with Jacob Davidson being susceptible to getting into foul trouble. I will say this, Kim Aiken is a fantastic two-way player. He could definitely be the difference maker and the reason why Eastern Washington wins this game. But in my mind, I would be looking at the better defensive team, and I'd be looking at the deeper team, which I think is Northern Colorado. So no play officially for me, but I still have time.
And then the last play, Southern Utah, Idaho.
Yeah, I look at the over in that game. I can understand where people are coming from, but from a side perspective, it's hard for me not to take Southern Utah. But then once again, we look at the number, we look at the situation. Idaho coming off a bad recent performance, could be in line for a rebound game and the backdoor cover situation as the home dog. So not a spot that I'm really interested in getting on.
All right, that's the card. Is there anything you want to make official that we just talked about?
No, I'll just say this. American cashes the first half 29-24. Thank you. Live total of 126.5. Looking good. If there's a play that I want to make official, I would probably just make my play of the day official. But I don't think that we can get the best of the number now. So let me just double check what my book has.
Hey, Jay, while he's doing that, let's jump in and give out a play. Let's take the Pistons now. We got the spot that we wanted. They're down by 5. We can get -2.5 at -115. That's 4.5 better than the closing line. Excuse me, 3.5 better than the closing line of 7. And I like this spot a lot. So we're grabbing the Detroit Pistons -2.5, -115.
All right. And Joseph Gomez in the chat says, if Nolly knows it's a Jedi, does that make Ant the Mandalorian? No, the Mandalorians and the Jedi were actually sworn enemies for thousands of years. And the Mandalorians were very skilled in attacking and figuring out ways to kill Jedi. I am not a sworn enemy of Nolly knows. I would actually probably be more of a gray Jedi, kind of indifferent to the whole light side, dark side thing, and just use my awesome ass force powers for whatever the hell I want. I wouldn't be a Sith. They'd be too full of themselves.
For fuck's sake.
You opened up a can of worms. It's like literally the one I can nerd out about Star Wars like you wouldn't believe, Jay. Like you wouldn't fucking believe.
I'm quite certain that I believe that. What number did you get on that play of the day, Max? Is it viable?
I got under 63. They took it off the board because the game was supposed to start at 7:30 and it's already started. And it's already off to a terrible start. Even fucking better. Is that a fucking joke?
No, Triple K, I am not into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a nerd, not a fucking loser.
Wow.
10 points through 3 minutes. Okay, never
Okay.
mind. That's not that
Hey, I got laid in high school, so I never got into Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't want to know about your in high school at all. I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people. Actually, it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons. It was Dungeons and Dragons in high school that I saw people play. But after that, it was those Magic cards. Remember those Magic cards?
Yeah, people still play those. They like Magic tournaments and stuff. I have a buddy who's really into Magic. It's weird. Like he'll watch Twitch streams of Magic tournaments.
Jim Rome's a douche says, I'll be in Bally's and AC for the Super Bowl. Drinks on me. I'll be here doing a show, Jim.
I wonder if it'll be college basketball on during the Super Bowl. Because if not, I'll be taking a nap.
How fucking dare you?
Well, how dare me? I don't even like football.
But how do you not watch an event like the Super Bowl?
Very easily. Very easily. I don't know how to say that. Very easily.
That's disappointing.
It's not disappointing. It's fucking freedom of fucking choice. I choose not to fucking watch that shit.
Do you think, Jay, do you think the Super Bowl is going to be as close as the line says it's going to be?
I think it definitely has a chance to.
Oh my God, 16.
Do you believe in Patty Mahomes or do you believe in your 3-year-long man crush on Garoppolo?
I mean, I guess I believe in my power ratings, which puts the line as the Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite, which is exactly what that line is, I think, currently. Let me see. Yeah, it's back to 1.5. So I don't really see an edge.
It's my own fucking play.
I mean, well, haven't we said before that there's really hardly ever an edge betting the Super Bowl? Or at least on the size and totals. That's why we dig into the 500 variations of prop bets there is.
I think that we'll probably have an opportunity to live bet the game.
You mean like last year when we live bet the shit out of it?
Yeah.
Hit like 5 fucking live unders?
I'm not going to have a pregame side, and the total's gone. I think if you got 50.5 at open, good on you. I think you got a good number. But the only way, I think it should continue to go up. My guess is like 55.5 by close. And at that point, I think the only way you could look is the under, because you're 4 points worse of the number if you plan on betting the over. So it's looking like I'm not going to have a side or a total pregame.
Yeah, I mean, I bet the Chiefs, but I'm -1.5 is a super easy number to buy off of. So it won't take much to get me to buy off of it live if I have to. I mean, if it was like 4 or something like that, I would have laid off. But your power ratings say they're a slightly better team. I thought the Chiefs were a slightly better team. And I mean, what's 1.5 or 3? I mean, they're going to win if they win, they'll probably win by at least a field goal, you would think. So I thought 1.5 was a pretty decent number on what I thought was the team that was slightly better. And like I said, at some point during the game, I won't think twice about just buying off that position because it's a very easy number to be able to buy off of. I mean, I could just come back the other way.
Our chat has been basically split down the middle. I see a lot of Chiefs. I see a lot of 49ers over the last week.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's a 1.5 point spread. A 1.5 point spread is going to tell you that the game's pretty even, so people are going to go one way or the other. I could see either outcome happening. I think both teams have looked like the best teams all year. I mean, well, I guess other than the Ravens, but when the Chiefs were completely healthy, they were better than the Ravens. I mean, they did beat the Ravens after all when the Chiefs were completely healthy. The Ravens managed to have a better record than the Chiefs for the fact that the Chiefs, had Matt Moore or whoever it was fucking playing quarterback for a few games.
I do think that if you think the 49ers, there are some solid spots in as far as taking somebody on the 49ers to be the MVP. I think George Kittle at 18-1 is a solid look if you think the Niners are going to win the game. I think Tevin Coleman at 50-1 is a solid look if you think that the Niners are going to win the game.
Oh, for the MVP. That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy G is 2.5-1. But I don't know, man. I kind of feel like their path to victory would not make him the MVP. So I think that if I were taking shots, I would just throw out Jimmy G and I would take flyers on a couple players. Where if you like the Chiefs, you should have 2 dimes on Patrick Mahomes to win the MVP at plus 110. Because other than Travis Kelce catching 4 touchdowns and having 200 receiving yards, I think Mahomes is as close as you can get to a guarantee if the Chiefs win the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because the thing is, Mahomes spreads it around. He has more than one weapon. You know what I mean? It's not like the other year where what's his bucket from the Patriots won it? That white guy receiver, what's his name?
Wes Welker?
Julian not Wes Welker.
Julian Edelman?
Yeah, Edelman. Yeah, it's not like Edelman who caught 37 passes for 300 yards or whatever. I mean, Mahomes is going to spread it around. Tyreek Hill's going to get his catches. Kelsey's going to get his catches. Watkins is going to get his catches. I mean, it ain't going to be just, one receiver lining it up. You're going to have – Hill's going to have his 2 random 40-yard bombs. Watkins is going to contribute. And Kelsey's going to have his 7 to 8 catches in 1 or 2 touchdowns. But in the end, it's going to be that, 350 yards passing and 4 touchdown passes from Mahomes that's going to get him the MVP if they win. Now obviously
I might take a flyer.
Good, so.
I might take a flyer on a couple nice odds for San Fran players because I don't think George Kittle should be 18-1, and I don't think Tevin Coleman should be 50-1.
Well, yeah, San Francisco's got much better plays for MVP than the Chiefs. The Chiefs, it's Mahomes or nothing, and Mahomes' odds are really low. Yeah, but 18-1 for Kittle. What? Fuck yeah, you got to bet that. If San Francisco wins, it's Kittle's definitely going to be better than 18-1.
Yeah, and even both running backs that will get the majority of the plays. Even Raheem Mostert is 8.5-1. Tevin Coleman 50-1.
Oh, wasn't Mostert the guy who went for 220 fucking yards?
I'm not sure.
Against Green Bay.
Yeah, did.
I had my head in the.
Oh,
yeah,
but
you're
Robert
right,
Kahn points out a pretty good thing, and it's actually the point that I made during the conference title game, which was one of my plays was the Kittle no touchdown. Kittle doesn't do touchdowns though. He has 5 touchdowns on the year. So I mean, if he doesn't get any touchdowns, he's not going to get that MVP. Andrew says, the San Fran defense is going to have a lot to say about those stats. I mean, I absolutely think San Francisco could probably shut down the Chiefs offense for a little bit and keep Patrick Mahomes under those numbers. I'm just saying if Kansas City wins the game, that'll be something Patrick Mahomes pulls off. I mean, Kansas City isn't going to win this game 18 or 17-14. If Kansas City wins, they're going to have their way on offense. But I absolutely think San Francisco's defense is good enough to shut down that KC offense. But the problem is that KC offense has also got so many weapons that they can make any defense look bad also. I mean, we'll look at the Saints game. With all the weapons the Saints had on offense, the Saints put up 45. Go ahead.
Bosa's 33-1.
Well, for a defensive player, that's not a bad number. Defensive players do win it.
I think that's a good number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and think about it too. What needs to happen for San Francisco to win the game, right? They're not going to win this game in a shootout, are they? So if they win,
I don't think so. No.
yeah, exactly. So if they win, it's going to be on the back of their defense. So if Bosa balls out, boom, there you go.
Speaking of touchdowns for San Francisco, Kendrick Bourne was so clutch so far in the playoffs, especially in the red zone. He's 100-1. It's crazy.
He's got inconsistent
they had
hands. That's the big knock on Bourne. And a lot of times in the season, he would get wide open and drop open easy shots or easy catches.
Martin Riggs brings up a good point. I mean, they did beat the Saints 48-46. So I think that offense is capable. You know, if Kyle Shanahan takes the chains off of Jimmy G and lets him go, it's possible.
Yeah, it is.
Where'd Max go?
Max left like 5 minutes ago, dude. I don't know. He probably has something to do. Nello says, as long as I win, I don't care who wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Robert Kahn says that if they let Jimmy G just keep throwing the ball and fire it, he's going to throw 2 interceptions. Which is very likely.
Yeah, he averaged less than an interception per game, though. I think he had 20. I think he had a 2-to-1 ratio. I want to say he had like 28 touchdowns and 14, if I had to guess. And they've played, 18 games?
Did Max have an opinion on this Iowa-Wisconsin game? It's like probably the marquee game of the night in golf basketball.
He is on Iowa and the under.
But his numbers were way better.
It's funny because I was looking at that. I'm like, yeah, Iowa and the under look like there's a play there too.
I think 5.5 he had in the Iowa game. And
it's at 6 now, so it's not that far off of what he got it at.
Yeah, I forget what he had on the under.
The under was 2 points off, unless it's moved since he spoke about it earlier. Because
it's 135 right now.
He had 137.
Oh,
it was
wow,
2 points off, and he had either -5 or -5.5 on the spread, which actually correlates about the same.
I see a lot of people on Wisconsin today too.
I don't like him on the road in a Big Ten game against Iowa, but
yeah, that's the second biggest game of the. Well, yeah, that's one of the 2 biggest games of the night. The other game is at 9:00, Kansas Okie State. He's on Okie State plus 8.5, which you'll have to get live because the line is at 7.
Yeah, Kansas State or Kansas on the road. Okie State's a capable team, I imagine. I heard his breakdown of that. So, So,
yeah, I'm looking at.
You see the news that the Chargers officially are breaking up with Phillip Rivers?
No, I didn't.
No.
Yep. So,
makes sense.
Do you think Phillip Rivers is now a free agent? So, do you think? What do you think he does? Do you think his team signs him, or do you think he joins joins his boy Eli into retirement.
If I was a GM in the league, he would never start on my team. I think he never starts for an NFL team again, off of how terrible he looked this year.
Yeah, he was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If the Bengals got rid of Dalton, maybe they bring him in to tutor Burrows so he can start the first 4 or 5 games and then turn it over to Burrows to be the hero, or a situation like that. A team that had a first-round pick, I could see starting him for a little while. But I completely agree, Jay. If you're trying to make a serious playoff push or you have hopes for your team, he's not the guy anymore. And it's too bad because, we talked about this with a lot of players, but I really thought he was a great player, and he's kind of diminishing what people think of him with these last couple of years because his arm's dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
Sterling Ross says he's moving to Florida. Figure it out. I mean,
The Jags?
I don't know, man. He would never start on my team. I'll tell you that.
Like maybe if Miami drafts Tua, can't even play, he could be their little placeholder.
So did he have to use a school bus to get all those kids to Florida?
Yeah. What? How many kids he got? Like 8?
He's got enough.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
I mean, he treats that woman's vagina like a fucking clown car.
What the fuck are you thinking? 9 kids? I got my hands full with 1 kid, bro.
He doesn't take care of them. He's busy playing sports and off doing stuff. She's the one dealing with that nonsense. I'm pretty sure they have a decent amount of nannies. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like if you need 3 nannies to work at the same time in your house, you're doing it wrong.
Maybe they're a Quiverful family. I mean, you never know.
The fucking Duggars.
Yeah, exactly. Like you never met like those really religious families who just pop children out like it's a goddamn Pez dispenser. It was very common with the peer groups my parents were hanging out with when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I mean, I was
thought about getting.
What?
God.
No, it's just
God.
I grew up in a very evangelical, right-wing religious family, and so like a lot of the people in my parents' peer group were like people from the church who were also very religious and evangelical and all that, and large families was extremely common. Like the more religious you are, the more you get your wife pregnant. It's very weird. Like I'm the youngest of 5. And our family was one of the smaller ones in the church. I mean, so there was like there was more than one family that had like 9, 10 kids. It's fucking unreal. It's like this from the time I was like 8 to the time I was 18. I only knew this lady as pregnant. This lady that this really good friend of my mom and dad. They're friends with this couple. The entire time I knew this lady, she was pregnant. She was always pregnant. I mean, they started out with when I was 8, I think they had like 1 kid, and by the time I was 18, they were like on number 9. Very. And
Caleb
Rivers is that.
asks,
pretty religious.
Magic are plus 12 right now. Is that too much spread? I thought about getting on the Heat today too. They're up 13.
Yeah, so that spot that we were hoping for, where we can get them at less than the opening number, probably isn't going to materialize. So if we do it, we're going to look at Orlando to make a charge back. But I'll keep an eye on that game. I don't want to take it yet. So
Rich,
We'll just keep an eye on
we were
that
talking
one.
about Phillip Rivers, and it was a perfect segue.
I just saw his comment. That is funny.
Yeah, I mean, it
That's
was
funny,
the
Rich.
perfect segue, though. I mean, come on. Oh boy.
Doncic has 4.
The Cavs
Missed
and
the 3.
Pistons
So
right now. You can get the Pistons.
Yeah, no one can stay in front of them, and they're bringing Adams out, so he's not there to roll over. And then the one time they did, Doncic missed even with Adams defending, so he's off to a good start. But I always like having the points with the home team because unlike a road team, like maybe the Magic, that's why I'm a little concerned about jumping in there. The home team does pack in. They're usually good for one second half run, so let's just hope it's enough.
You can get the Pistons +2 now.
Yeah, I'm already in once, and I don't want to go back. Basically, my look there, I mean, Kevin Love's been on fire. He's 6 from 8 from 3-point. Don't think he'll continue to be that good, but I'm not going to double back down. I got my pin that I identified pregame, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, I mean, we'll see. If he stays on fire like that, I mean, we're not going to win it, but it'll be interesting to see if he can continue because 75% from 3-point range is hard to sustain.
Hey, Max.
I thought about Doncic too at over 8.5 assists, but it's at 9.5 live.
Hey, Max. Sterling Ross actually has a pretty important question. They got money riding on this. Was it a dump or a food grab?
You're on mute.
What are you talking about?
Oh, why you left?
Why you left where? What are you talking about?
I can't hear you, Max.
What? I'm confused at what's going on.
Oh, I guess because you left the show for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have money riding on it. Did you leave for food or take a deuce?
Oh no, it was dog duty.
Oh, so their bets got to push then, I guess, because they only
No,
bet a
we would have
two-way
pulled
money
the
line.
DraftKings and just taken their money.
Max Kings.
Well said, Max.
Listen, I got no problem with FanDuel Sportsbook, but DraftKings, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with this dog? Fine, I'll let you out. Why, you little fuck?
Oh, man. Oh, thank God it's finally on. Now I can watch you. Mazel tov. Fucking, I'm trying to watch the North Carolina A&T and Delaware State game. Delaware State loves this fucking zone, but North Carolina A&T is going to shoot over it, you mutts. Fucking stop slowing the game down. Push, push, push.
Viral video says
pushing a fucking baby out of her vagina.
you need to check out the comments on O.J. Simpson's tweet on Kobe. Purely outrageous.
I think that the guy that tweeted that Kobe died 23 years too late, that was outrageous. That fucking
Wow.
Ari dude, I don't know what his fucking name is, but. And I watched that. There's some troll that says that he's like the greatest boxer in the world. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. And then who fucking
Is it the guy that Deontay Wilder beat up?
Yeah, that guy. I watched his documentary
What's his
today.
name?
Sammy Chelinov or some shit like that. I don't know what his fucking name was, but my God, I want to literally fucking take a bag of piss and just dump it down the guy's throat.
Yeah,
Charlie
Eric Rose has got it. Charlie Zellenhoff.
I come back and and Max is already talking about throwing bags of piss down people's throats, and you guys talk shit about me about talking about Phillip Rivers.
This is a known part of my my bits. Yeah, my gimmick.
Yeah, and my bit is to talk about anything besides sports on the sports show.
Everybody thinks that's not your gimmick, though. They think that's just you being you.
That's true too. I mean, I'm just here to hang out and tail you guys on basketball. I'm not here to give out picks. Just all that's on is basketball tonight. Everybody knows I don't really cap basketball. I cap baseball, I cap soccer, I cap college football, and I tail Jay in NFL. That's my shtick.
Well, you could talk about Starling Marte getting
I also handicap politics, but every time I start talking about wanting to bet on some of the races, Jay gets mad because I'm talking about politics. But I'm like talking about it from a betting standpoint on a betting show. I thought people might be interested in how to make some money, especially if you're politically neutral and you don't care about Democrats or Republicans. You just want to make some money. I mean,
I don't think you should take
Ronnie Lofton said you should leave your camera on when you leave because the picture ruins his appetite.
Well, you need to blame Jay for that because that just gets Jay really going. Jay likes it when I put that picture on because when the show's over and he wants to crank one out before he goes to bed.
I mean, I think that
in his mind.
Where are we going with this tonight?
I think the joke.
Jay likes himself some lesbian soccer players.
I think you've beat the joke to death, and it's
honestly, Jay. I just don't know how to change it. That's really it. The joke stopped being funny months ago. I just don't know how to change it. It's just up there because I haven't gotten around to changing the avatar. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's in the settings, I think.
I could go there eventually one day. Oh my god.
20-11 with 4 minutes left in the first half. The play of the day is gonna hit, which is always nice. I need the full game under also to hit, but Maryland Eastern Shore, I don't know why I took Morgan State. I said that I lean Maryland Eastern Shore on the show, but then I ran fucking this, I don't even know what you call it. You just call it a fucking new metric, I'll call it. And it really heavily favored Morgan State. But I guess that was wrong because they've only gotten 11 points in fucking 15 and a half minutes. They can't even score a point a minute. Maryland Eastern Shore is no fucking offensive fucking juggernaut. But god damn, this is an ugly fucking game. Perfect for and under. At this point, they would need 100 points to beat me in the second half. And it may not be that much more when we get to halftime at this fucking rate. Wow. They're averaging fucking 2.5 points a minute. It's funny. But, yeah, move on to other bets. American, the unders looking good. Florida A&M, the overs looking good. North Carolina over. North Carolina's looking good. So there's a theme to the night so far. Shit's looking good. And that makes me more enjoyable. And that makes me more willing to be entertaining for you guys. Because who the fuck wants to watch and listen to a guy that's fucking having a losing day? I certainly don't.
So, Jay, did you watch the Grammys last night?
No.
Yeah, I know you didn't. Neither did I.
I heard a lot of people made money off the Grammys.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to know Jay's opinion because it's also his favorite band of all time. What do you think of Tool finally winning a Grammy for Best Metal Performance?
I think it's great.
Yeah, but of all the songs on that album, don't you think for some reason they won it for probably the weakest?
UNC.
Well, I mean, I guess Tempest is not the weakest song on that album, but don't you think Numa or Fear Inoculum were better songs on that album? And so aren't you a little surprised it was Tempest that won it?
I mean, yeah, maybe. But, as long as they win, I guess that's all that counts.
Yeah, I agree with you. What about the fact that when I was looking up and searching through, comments and stuff on the Grammys or whatever, you had all those annoying ass metal elitists going, Tool's not metal, Tool's not metal. How do they win? Tool is not metal. What's your opinion on bitch ass metal elitists who fucking think anything that's not some dude screeching into the microphone while being backed up by unlistenable guitar riffs is not metal?
I don't have an opinion on that.
You don't? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I just get annoyed by metal elitists. It's like,
Let's
how
go,
the fuck
Northern
you can...
Arizona. Get some points. This ain't the Sacramento State team at home, bitch. You can put points up against these cucks. Let's go. I need over 124, you bitch ass motherfuckers. Oh, I hear Oliver barking. What the fuck's going on out there? I may have to go check on his bitch ass.
That's the second time I've ever heard that dog make a sound.
I'm surprised that given your favorite band and when we talk about music that you don't have an opinion at all on the annoying metal elitists who snub their nose at anything that isn't like so fucking annoying as death metal.
I literally never spent 3 seconds of my life thinking about that.
I haven't lately.
It bothers you that much?
No, it bothers me that you have it's a genre of music that's got like 30 fucking subgenres. You got like progressive metal, new metal, prog metal, blah blah blah, right? Industrial metal, death metal, screamo metal, blah blah blah. You've got these guys who, if you're not like a certain sub segment of this fucking niche category, they fucking act elitist and annoying. Like,
personally, I don't even consider Tool metal. Like when I think of metal, I think of like
they're progressive metal,
Megadeth, and like Slipknot, right? But when I just think of Tool as like just really good fucking rock and roll.
Rich G, did you read Rich G? Were you laughing at that too? Yeah.
Tool's just really fucking good. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's just dropping bands in the chat. I'm like, that's all metal though. I mean, it's a
Slayer, yeah,
it's an extremely diverse genre.
I don't know, whatever the fuck they are, they're amazing.
Oh, okay, Nick. Is Motley Crue metal? Jay?
Motley Crue? What?
Yeah, it's like glam metal.
Exactly.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think of Motley Crue as a
genre of metal, right?
I was waiting for people.
I think of Motley Crue as a rock band.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. It's
like glam rock, glam metal.
Is there a difference between Motley Crue and like Guns N' Roses? Would you think Guns N' Roses is Guns N' Roses metal?
No, I could say the name.
Well, Guns N' Roses is, well, at least their first album was better than anything Motley Crue ever did.
I just think it's rock.
Although,
that's it.
What do you think of Guns N' Roses? I
like Guns N' Roses. I think I think Sweet Child of Mine is probably the best guitar riff that's ever been written. Slash is amazing.
Yeah, to me, Guns N' Roses is like to rock and roll what Sam Kinison was to comedy. Like, you go watch like Sam Kinison's debut, right? It was probably one of the funniest stand-up specials of the 1980s. But then he didn't really do anything good after that. Like, he was just a complete he just did nothing after that. But that one debut of his shot him to stardom, and it was really good. That to me is what Guns N' Roses are in comparison. Appetite for Destruction is one of the greatest albums of all time. And literally everything Guns N' Roses did after Appetite for Destruction was fucking horseshit.
Rich says that Wikipedia says Motley Crue is heavy metal.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. Is like metal's an extremely diverse genre, so it's just fucking annoying.
Guys, first off, let's not use
tweets of people
Wikipedia
complaining
as
that Tool's not metal.
All right, enough of that. I don't want to fucking ever hear someone quote Wikipedia as a credible source. It is not a credible source. You cannot use it to credit a source when you're writing a paper or doing any kind of fucking copyrighted, protected presentation. So Wikipedia is for fucking idiots. Let's not use Wikipedia.
Go ahead, Max.
Use Google Scholar. That's where you find actual true information. I could put Ant has a fucking 300 fucking pound set of balls, and Wikipedia would allow that, and people would read that and believe that. If he had a pair of 300-pound balls, he would not be able to walk, get down the street, or fucking get up and down from his chair. It's not true.
As long as you source the source from, as long as you credit where Wikipedia sourced the information, because there is the source page at the bottom of most Wikipedia pages.
Nobody does that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can use Wikipedia as a source in a paper.
They tell us in school not to. Every program I've ever done, they've told us Wikipedia is not an acceptable source for anything.
Yeah, but people get around that by just going to the source of the information on the Wikipedia page.
Wikipedia should be taken off the internet and blacklisted as a terrorist site.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's literally the dumbest thing to say. You can't use Wikipedia as your source because all you do is
not
just
a dumb thing. It's not a dumb thing.
Because all you do is you just go on Wikipedia, you read the article, you go to the bottom, find the sources for the Wikipedia article, and then just source those sources.
No, the majority of people do not source things. They use Wikipedia and post that shit because they know that they don't have to have a verified source. There's no one moderating any of those posts. I can fucking literally start posting that I am the king of fucking Ireland and that all Irish people owe me their first children. Like, that would stay on for years. I'm not taking that. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you want to argue about that? Let's go into a private stream yard.
I think that Nilo needs to Photoshop Ant's face onto that South Park where he's rolling around with his balls in a wheelbarrow. Someone, an enterprising member of the chat needs to make that Photoshop.
Brandon Robinson just went out with an injury for North Carolina. That could be fucking a game changer right there. Iowa, Wisconsin have started. It's an ugly start, 3 points through 2 minutes. Anybody that faded the tank play of the day is a moron and basically should be skinned alive and use their skin to create warm clothes for the less fortunate. Especially foxes. Just fucking kill every fox around. In the under in that Lehigh game, yeah, it's looking good. I thought that I was going to middle at 125, but it kept on going down, so I'm still watching and waiting to see if it hits its lowest point. But we have 83 points through 10 and a half minutes in the second half, so we'll see what happens there. And the play of the day is 2 minutes away from hitting, so can't fade me on this one, motherfuckers. In the Northern Arizona game, it's 25-25 with 5 minutes left, so we're doing fantastic as far as scoring pace. I guess the fucking number of 124 is accurate, and anybody that said that this game should have been lined in the 115 range, well, you're fucking definitely sucking cock and fucking taking the bus and not fucking paying. So
sucking cock.
Never said there was anything wrong with sucking cock. I'm just fucking clarifying the situation that a person that believed that would be in.
Oh God!
Maybe some
God,
people want to
God.
be in that situation, but maybe some people don't want to be in that situation.
If they want to be in that situation, that would be they would be having a mental break before our very eyes. And as a little part of the community social service worker in me would have to do something actual about it.
It's very scary that you are an experienced social worker.
Listen, we all have to get to this gambling forum somehow, some way, and I thought that I could help people first, and I realized that's a fucking waste of time.
Oh God, trying to help people's the worst.
Well, help your family. That's easy. Easy to help your family. Give them money and fucking call them when they want to speak to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I've noticed some people threw some bands in the chat, Jay. What's your opinion on Cannibal Corpse?
I mean, I have no opinion.
You have no opinion
I
on
don't think
Cannibal Corpse?
I don't think I've listened to enough of it to really have an opinion.
My opinion on Cannibal Corpse is I respect their technical musicianship. The guys are very talented in how they play the music. I can't listen to that shit. It's just too much. It's like
You would be
pretty on
surprised. You would be surprised with like how much music that I listen to that is not rock and roll. Like,
No, I'm not. You listen to that bitch ass Aaron Lewis country shit while I was talking to you one time. You're like, oh yeah, this is my
Like
jams,
the last-
Anthony. I love Aaron Lewis's
the last
bitch ass
couple-
country bullshit.
Like the last 3 weeks, I've had nothing in my music player but Frank Sinatra. And
Frank
before
Sinatra?
that,
Johnny Cash
Yeah,
would know that.
I'm a huge Sinatra fan. Huge.
By any
love,
chance,
I
are you
love Billy
Italian?
Joel too. Of course, I'm Italian.
Well,
yeah.
there we go. Now we know why. Buddy,
I
if
could
you're
sit
listening,
back-
if you're
I
listening to Frank Sinatra and not
All
listening to Dua Lipa, you got problems.
So
I could
spread.
sit back
I want to.
and listen to Frank for hours. And
So-
Billy
Dua
Joel
Lipa.
too.
Oh,
What about
God.
Dua Lipa?
Well, Billy Joel, everyone loves Billy Joel. I mean, you can't argue that one. Spread, I have a question for you, then. Let me throw it to you. If you had to choose between Cannibal Corpse or Cattle Decapitation, which band would you prefer?
I'd prefer.
I've never heard either. Like I've heard of Cannibal Corpse, but I've never heard them,
You never heard
and I've definitely never heard of the fucking Burger King makers.
Cattle. The answer is Cannibal Corpse, very slightly. They both suck, but yeah. All right. So Frank Sinatra, good to know.
Oh man, are you kidding me? So good.
I mean, I like Billy Joel. Everyone does.
Who's Billy Joel?
Billy Joel. You don't know who Billy Joel is?
I know a lot of guys named Billy, and I know a couple guys named Joel.
Piano Man.
Oh, that song. No, I'm just fucking with you guys. I know.
The way you look tonight is one of the greatest songs ever written.
If you really want to know a Billy Joel classic, go look up the video to Allentown and then question yourself what they were thinking back in the 80s. Even I think that video is disturbingly homosexual.
Okay.
Dude, go on
know
YouTube and look up the video to Allentown by Billy Joel. And you're gonna like, why are these guys in the shower dancing together? Like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, yeah, it's just like these dudes in the shower dancing together while Billy Joel's strumming a song like Allentown. You're like, what the fuck? This is so weird. This is like blatantly gay. but I don't think they mean it to be. That was like a very weird thing about the 80s. The 80s had like a lot of like really overtly gay things in like the music videos, but they didn't actually mean it to be. Like I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Holy crap. Like the fact that people didn't realize Elton John was gay until the 90s is very disturbing to me. Like how you could watch the music video to I'm Still Standing that came out like the mid 80s and not know that Elton John was a homosexual is beyond me. Because that video is another one you can log into the what were they thinking in the 80s?
Yep.
Let's go, UNC. Don't fucking talk shit about my fucking picks. This fucking goddamn VLC. What are you doing? Play this fucking game, you cuckolds.
Bills fan wants you to get control of this, Jay. And Michael S. would like to know if I ever stop talking. I mean, I guess I can stop talking, but everybody else can stop talking for like the last half hour. So, I mean, you can either listen to me rant about random music or you can listen to nothing as everybody just stares at their screens. I mean, your choice.
Everybody's been talking for the last hour, bro. What are you talking about?
Bullshitting. Fuck. Yes.
I was going to say something also, so I'm glad that you said it before. Like, hey, you fucking what? What do you think, that you're the only one here? Fuck, I'm not sitting here at the computer on the fucking camera when I could be fucking having no shirt on?
No, I mean, the problem is like...
off my chest?
The problem is like this is like a 4-hour-long live betting show. If we don't have any live plays to put in, we have to freaking kill time. It's not like it's some condensed 30-minute show where we have to run down 15 plays for the evening like every other show on this channel. It's a freaking live betting show that lasts 4 hours where we talk about live bets. I mean, if we don't have any live bets to put in, we got to kill time somehow.
Well, I was thinking about bringing up the subject of people that have sex in front of farm animals and farms and what's wrong with them. But I just...
What was that, Max?
Max kind of like...
Oh, he froze. Oh, Nello with another one. He knew George Michael was gay from the Wake Me Up Before You Go video. Yeah, like seriously, like there was like all these random music videos in the 80s that just made you go, really?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about who's banging who. Like, as long as they're not trying to steal my poom poom, I don't give a shit.
He said my poom poom.
My favorite punani, like whatever the hell you want to call it, bud. Oh, that's why my internet went off on this computer. What the fuck is going on here? Give me my 5G, you pussy holes. Fucking motherfuckers. I'll kill your goddamn fucking cat.
NC has an actual relevant sports question. Spread. Do you like the Rockets right now? Plus 14?
Why is it not started yet?
All right.
Punch them in the face.
I mean, they're missing their three best players, and I mean, anything could happen. But I mean, in my model, I like to try and account for injuries. But when you're missing 3 out of the 5 out of a core, I really think that it's I don't know. At that point, I really think that the numbers are kind of irrelevant, and you're kind of just throwing darts because, you know, like for example, for Chris Paul missing tonight, but the rest of the core is there. Okay, I have a good idea of how to handicap with one player being out, even if they're an important player. When you're missing 3 of the 5 starters, it really seems to me to be a crapshoot. Like unless you're just really solid with the backups, and I'm not, enough to make a play there.
And I imagine at 14 points, that's way too many to be laying pregame with the Magic.
With the Jazz, yeah, I mean,
why the fuck did I say that? Man?
It was a really and a half before.
I really want to bet the Jazz too, man, because they've been so good. But man, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Boston Knicks.
So I think the best spot is see if Houston does well, try and get them live, and if not, you're cool.
Boston Nick,
just
favorite
no play
Elton
on the
John
game. Like we don't
song
need to
is
bet every game.
Your song.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, what do you think of your favorite Elton John song? Boston Nick says it's Your Song is his favorite. I personally like Rocket Man.
Yeah, Rocket Man or Tiny Dancer.
What about Candle in the Wind? That's another one I really like.
Meh.
But I'm also like a diehard Marilyn Monroe fan, so But yeah, Rocket
Yeah,
Man.
I'm not a huge Elton John fan. Although I've seen him in concert a couple times with Billy Joel. But I'm a big Billy Joel fan. But I don't mind Elton John. Northern Arizona up 5. So far, so good there for Max.
Jay, maybe I will make a pregame bet.
Give it to him.
Can you guys even get these? I bet them. I'm just wondering if I can give them still. I don't know if I can. Let me just check one of my books to see if they're still hanging the lines on them.
I was out to a 10-5 lead.
Never mind. Nope.
North Carolina's up 10 with a couple minutes to play there. I should have hopped on North Carolina with you, man. I fucked that
Listen,
up.
I wasn't confident about any of these.
Damn.
Plays. I told you guys that I was arbing, and like these are straight arbing fucking bets. So arbitrage betting is something I'm looking a lot into these days. So trying to find these. Oh, actually, we can bet that Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Southern first half. Okay, so Jay, I'm going to make an official play for the show. I'm going to take over 63, minus 115 in this Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Southern first half. I'm already on the full game over, and I'm going to add first half to it. So make that official.
All right, Arkansas Pine Bluff first half for 63.
Yes, sir.
At what price?
Minus 115.
All right, that's gonna be a bet. I'm telling that.
All right, let's do it. Coppin State and Howard are finally underway. Don't want to see a lot of scoring, but chances are this game is looking like it's going to go over already. If this total gets up to 156.5, and I'm convinced that it's going to keep on rising, I'm going to hit this total again. So just for anyone that is line watching like I am, now you know where my thinking is.
Is my screen right? Has there been 9 minutes gone by and Wisconsin has 5 points?
Yes, that is correct.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my under 137 is looking good. The problem is right now I need scoring in North Carolina. I don't think I'm going to get this over. At 132, fuck, they just stopped scoring altogether. I was hoping for a big start. Not so much anymore there. Unless North Carolina State starts to foul. Oh, they got a bucket there.
Is that available? Is that available for me to grab on Bet365, Max?
What, the Arkansas Pine Bluff one? Yeah, it is. But I would move fast. It's on their live betting menu also, but you'd have to get half point and 5 cents more in juice. So
yeah, that's my other.
Go to the extra games.
My other team.
Extra games. Hurry up. Open up the extra games. That's where you'll get that.
Yeah, I got it.
Back. Yeah. I'm very disappointed now. Fuck, I thought I was on a fucking winner when it came to that over.
That
130.
That under in the Wisconsin game's already dropped like 13 points.
Yeah, I think that if you hold out longer, you're going to get a better middling opportunity if you're looking for that. I think this gets into the mid-1 teens. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times before. Lehigh's not going away, so everybody with that 7 or 7.5, or some of the Fugazi lines some people have, are in a good position. Let's face it, if that line was available at the time it was, I would have been on it also. I'm trying to start shit. Just tell them how it is.
The Cavaliers look like they're pulling away from the Pistons here.
Yeah, looks like that wasn't the best move.
66-point half, 37-29. Northern Arizona looking good, but obviously we know about college basketball. Tale of two fucking halves often.
Well, I can get under 20.5 for a first half team total, Max. Like an alternative team total on Wisconsin. Under 22.5 at plus 175.
I'm not interested in that.
No,
I'm not interested in that. It very well could hit. It's too low of a number with a team that I know for a fact has more offensive firepower than they're showing right now.
Yeah.
If you're talking about doing that with a team like Wyoming, that's a different story. But I'm not fucking with that shit. But
Do you think either of those teams hit 30?
Iowa very easily could get hot. But I'm not watching the game, so I don't really have a good visual perspective of what's going on.
They're plus 200 on a race to 30.
Yeah, but that could easily turn around on them. If it was minus 350 or 400, then okay, I'm a little more confident in it. But all it takes is a little 5-6-0 run, and that shit changes right around. Listen, Jay, you got to do what you feel. If you have a feel for right now, you got to hit it. You know how to fucking hit these races.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I'm trying to fucking get out of a slump that I've been in for about 5 days. So
I'm going to put that game on, actually.
What channel is it on? Big Ten Network?
I think it's on FS1, actually.
Yeah, it's on the Big Ten Network.
Oh, yeah, Big Ten, yep.
D-Money just joined us. What's popping? Hashtag Cheese Kingdom. Hashtag Keg Life.
Hashtag I like D Money. So where's like our favorite chatter fucking M Riggs been lately?
He was in the chat.
Oh yeah, I forgot I blocked
That
his
was here earlier
messages.
today.
I don't see or hear him.
146 people watching. Welcome in. Everybody hit the like button for us so we can get to 100 likes and open up a window right now. It takes 1 minute. It's all I ask of you. Put in sbrvideo.com/liveline. It'll bring you to the best sportsbook page at Sportsbook Review, and click those books, because every time you guys do that, it lets SBR know that you're watching the show and you value the show, and those metrics will keep us here. So do that for us right now if you can. It means the world. We got 72 thumbs up. We need 27 more. 73. 27 more, boys.
If you don't like me, you should fucking hit the like button just for a little bit of reverse psychology. And yeah. I know I'm a very unlikable individual, so hit that like button, guys.
You are repugnant.
If you guys hit that like button, you know what's going to happen? I won't be on the show. So hit that like button. Get rid of Maxwell Smart.
Dallas up 7 right now. You expect expect them to win the game? How do they look, spread?
They look good, but they've been a pretty good first half team. I mean, pretty good first half team over the last 10 games. They haven't been closing games that well, just because everybody knows it's going to Luka, and they can double and triple him, but they won't waste their energy doing it all game. So that's kind of what I expect to hopefully see play out here. I know that we talked about the loss of Chris Paul earlier, but it does seem like they are a little more disjointed than I expected, and shows how smart their GM Presti was to bring him in to tutor Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he has, under the pressure of being the main ball handler, hasn't set up the offense as well. But you know how this thing is too with basketball. If they would have made a couple more threes, it looks a little different, and Shai would look a little more effective. But whether he's not hitting their spots just right, or the team is just kind of cold, and maybe just struggling from everything that happened yesterday and not having their minds on basketball. They haven't been shooting as well as I would have hoped, but I'm definitely not too worried about our spot right now. If we need to buy off, I'll let you know, but I still think we're primed for a nice second half push here.
It's sbrvideo.com/liveline, guys. My bad.
// who gives a fucking slash? It's a slash.
It's the link in the description.
Click, click, click. Click, click, click.
Yeah, I have to change that though to /. That's my bad.
Question in the chat about the Jazz. We're off that game. Too much variance. Don't like the Rockets. A lot of players out, but can't lay that number with the Jazz. That about sum it up, spread?
Yep, exactly. Great job, Ant. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, Jake, check that DM I sent you.
The fuck you saying about me?
It's not about you, Max.
All right, good. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, Ann. I didn't do anything.
Oh, wow. Yes.
This totals 118.5 now, and it's not even like you still got 7 minutes left. I mean, it's plummeted almost. I mean, you're closing in on 20-point difference from the pregame close.
Way too soon.
Slam dunk. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I still thought it was funny. It's a slam dunk under. So far, anyways. Holy shit.
I like slam dunks. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Do you think there's value, Max, on Wisconsin plus 203 on the money line? Yeah, I mean, it's a tie game. Are they worse than 2-1 to win?
It's around the closing line, so.
Nah, you're right. Just wait then.
Yeah, I would wait, but I'm on Iowa, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I'm probably going to get a little more less objective and more biased as the game goes along.
Well, you're also on the under, which is
looking good, but all you need is a quick fucking 22.4 minute spurt, and that under is fucking back in ass clench range. So, what I've learned from basketball is, well, I fucking assumed that this goddamn North Carolina game was going over, and if it does, it's going over by the smidge. If not, it's going to land on 145 and fuck me. And I'm not really in the mood to get fucked. So it'd be nice if they could score the basketball, but they just can't. It's ridiculous. North Carolina State shoots 31% from the three-point line. I thought that in this type of matchup that they would be able to get their shot off more, and they haven't, and now they're going to let it dribble out. That is a split that I'm not happy about.
What's the first quarter and first half lines? In this Utah game.
What was the question?
First quarter and first half lines in the Utah game. 8.5.
I'll look them up right now.
8.5 in the first half. First quarter.
Yeah, and that moved. That was 6.5 earlier today, obviously before the news.
Wow, they are minus 5.5 in the first quarter. Whew. You like anything with Barty and Kvitova?
Yeah, I like Barty. So that should be a fun one. I think that's about to start up here in a second.
Minus 140.
Yeah. So Petra actually beat Barty last year at the Australian Open. I don't know if it was this round. It might have been the semifinals. But since then, Barty's beat her 3 times, all on hard courts, once in Miami, twice in China. So I think Barty's in a little better form right now, and I think the price reflects that.
Wow, Pistons are down 25. Is that true?
They're losing.
Yep, we missed that one. So, yeah, take that L and move on.
I'm disappointed in you, Spread. I thought you hit 97.5%. The total in this game went back up. You were right, Max. It's up to 123 now. It was 118 just a few minutes ago. Hey, Spread, we got a couple of halftimes. I'll ask you what you think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. So Spurs, Bulls. Spurs 48, Bulls 50. The Spurs are plus a half point. Bulls minus half point on the second half spread. And I don't got a second half total. Oh, there it is. 109 is the second half total.
Yeah, right. So we had 8 points in the first half. So that is kind of a high second half total, but I think they're just trying to correlate to what the over total was for the full game. So that's why my guess why it'd be so high is it's just correlated to that. San Antonio plays a pretty slow pace, but at the end of the game, you also have the fouling and stuff, which can run the score up. You know, where you get 9 to 10 points in the last minute if a team is down within 6, where they're in fouling range and they just keep fouling to prevent the clock from being bled. I kind of lean San Antonio here, but I don't want to make a play on it. Just because it's tough to see how San Antonio is going to respond without LaMarcus Aldridge, who is their they kind of run the offense through him, and we were kind of hoping that DeRozan and those fellows would pick up the slack. But after losing by 9 in the second quarter, I don't know if that's the case.
Utah Jazz money line is minus 1,200, right? But the double result, that they lead after the first quarter and win the game is minus 250. That's a huge discount.
Look at that, boys. Morgan State's coming back. They're coming back. Forced a turnover. Now they got the opportunity to tie the game. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And I missed the number on Coppin State, so now I'm fucking screen watching. It's at 158.5 live.
Jay, did you say first quarter or first half on that?
First quarter. They have double results for the first half too, but the first quarter and game winner is minus 270.
Double dribble, bitch. Sorry.
Yeah, I actually think that's a fair price. I think that they're overvaluing the first quarter, obviously with only being 12 minutes, there's a higher range of variance. But, what's their first quarter money line? It's probably got to be at least like plus 250. So
let me check.
I mean, I don't think there's any chance that Houston wins the full game. So that's almost in your pocket. So you're pretty much just betting the Jazz first quarter minus 250.
You're getting a $1. You're getting a $1 discount. They're minus 350.
So it's minus 350.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the $1 discount is worth it there. I think you found a nice little edge there because. Yeah, I like that, Jay. I'd even be down to make it official if you want to give it out.
You know what? I would, but it's minus 250. So I'm not going to tell
All right, cool. Well, anyone who feels like laying juice that's hanging out, yeah, that's a good point. But anyone else that's hanging out in the chat and doesn't mind laying the juice, that is a strong recommendation, not an official play.
I'm going to throw a unit on it.
All right. Dang, did you see Ron Lofton's?
What?
Ron Lofton said he tried to lock the Heat minus 9.5 earlier, but he accidentally hit an extra 0. So now he's sitting there. He wanted to bet $25 and he's got 250 on this Heat game. So we'll sweat it out with you, Ron. He live bet Heat minus 9.5.
I've been there, Ronnie. I've been there.
Major stoner blunder. That's funny. Viral. So what the play was that we recommended, but we're not giving out because there's too much. It's Jazz first quarter and full game. You have to win both, but it's money line on both. What's the exact name of that type of prop, Jay? Is there a name? What did you call it? It's a double.
It's really called. I mean, normally like the first half full game is called double result, but this is called first quarter winner, game winner. So it's basically the same thing as a double result, but instead of a first half full game, it's first quarter full game. But when you consider the fact that they're minus 1220 right now on the money line to win the game, and the line in the first quarter is almost 6, I think that it's worth. I think I like that price. I mean, no Capella, no Westbrook, no Harden. With how the Utah Jazz have been rolling, they've been the best team in the league for 6 weeks. If you don't, I'm completely fine with losing that bet if it goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, Ron Lofton's looking okay though. The Heat are up by 20 right now, so we're gonna keep an eye on that one for you, Ron, and looks like definitely the whole panel and the Sports Cake chat's rooting for you too, Ron. Question about the Jazz full game under. The number I am seeing is 220, which normally looks really low in a Rockets game, but it's so hard to gauge their offensive output.
It's so hard to watch anything live when you could be watching the last fucking game that Kobe Bryant played against the Utah Jazz. What a fucking beautiful fucking farewell ceremony. And what a fucking game to put up for your last game in a fucking Laker uniform. Holy shit, I may start fucking bawling like a bitch right now.
Fuck. I think that another look that's not bad in the player performance doubles, which is basically like a bet builder that you can make. Joe Angles goes for 15 or more points, and the Utah Jazz win the game is plus 280. He could easily go for 15 points.
Yeah, it's a little below his average, so that's why you're getting the juice. Let me look it up right now. I think he averages like 12 or 13, but let me look it up. I don't know off the top of my head.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he averages somewhere around 12 or 13. So, I mean, 15, and they got to win the game at plus 270. I think it's worth a shot.
Oh, he averages 11 points a game. He averages 11 points a game right now. That's why that is there. But, yeah, I think it's worth a shot, too.
Yeah. If he gets hot from 3, he could drop 25.
Right.
What is Rudy Gobert average points wise?
Let me look it up. My guess is like 15 or 16, but I'm just guessing. Come on, internet. No, I don't need one of the 2018 stats. Come on. 15.7 points per game.
Okay.
Can I lean that way? But I don't really feel that strongly about that game. I think it's tough to see how they play without Aldridge, and I think that's a lot to ask of DeRozan. And we've all expected some of these younger players on the Spurs to step up, but it hasn't happened yet.
What's great is that this is a live prop that you can bet. So that Utah Jazz first quarter full game is now minus 200 even.
Yeah, because I think that the Jazz have started out slowly. Oh, they did the violations. So that's all that's happened in the game so far. They did the tribute violation, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope that the Rockets can somehow get like a 3 or 4 point lead. That game is on, I think, NBA TV too.
Is it? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the marquee game of the night or whatever they want to put it.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can.
Oh, my mic went out there for a while. Just trying to fix it.
I'll be right back.
I had a question about the Thunder Mavericks second half. But
All right, I heard that, Ant. What's the question? And then I'll go to the bathroom. What was the question about the second half?
Thunder Mavericks second half. I've been trying to ask it forever, but my damn mic was out. I had to fix it.
Honestly, I'm on it so heavy already. I'm already on it pretty heavy, so I would just go back the way I originally was liking, and I just grab the 10.5 at the Thunder if you want to play
total. I was looking at the total, not the spread.
it.
So 109.5 in the second half.
109 in the second half when they scored. What? They scored 106 in the first half. That seems right about right. I think you're better off taking the side.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
Viper BN likes the Rockets team total under. The Rockets are out to an early lead.
Yeah.
The game's on ESPN, right?
NBA TV.
Oh, okay. This Oklahoma State game's on ESPN. I'll watch that. Air Max is on Oklahoma State over Kansas today, plus the points, anyways. So, we got Kings and T-Wolves. Wow, the T-Wolves are blowing the Kings out here. Do you think the Kings close the gap in the second half? The line says they do.
Let me pull up the line real quick. So I'm seeing plus 13.5 for a full game there, which means that they expect, yeah. What are you seeing for a second half line?
Minus 3.5 for the Kings. The total's 110. Doesn't that also seem like a low total? Because you think the Kings are going to score more than 50 points in the second half, you would have to imagine. And are the T-Wolves going to slow? I mean, I don't expect another 68-point half, but shouldn't the T-Wolves get 55?
Yeah, I think the total's a better look than the side on that one.
Yeah, it just seems like when you look at that score,
right? If the T-Wolves even regress, by 8 or 9 points, and the Kings improve like we expect, that still goes over.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I don't know if we're talking official.
I would stay away from that side. But we can give out advice to people who want to jump in and tail. But
yeah, I just like.
Yeah, actually, I think that side could go anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to predict blowout when a game's a blowout, but I mean, like I said, I don't think the Kings are scoring 50 again. I think the Kings are going to get, some points here, especially when you think with it being a bit of a blowout, there's going to be lax defense at the end. People might just get some wide open looks because it's a 25-point game.
Mm-hmm.
That's been known to happen on occasion as well. That is until, they dribble out the last 20 seconds.
Spread, I waited on that first quarter play.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're down 4, I can get it at plus 160.
Yeah, plus 160?
First quarter, yeah.
First quarter money line?
Yeah, plus money, that's great.
First quarter.
You need first quarter.
And full game, double result. First quarter, full game. They're down 4, and it went from minus 250 to plus 160. I'm betting it right now.
Which book are you on to get that prop, Jay?
FanDuel.
All right. Viper BN has a question mark. Iowa money line. I'm not sure what's at now. I mean, live betting's cut off until the second half lines drop, so we'll see. Does anyone else notice that Howard has the exact same logo as the Buffalo Bills?
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, like how have the Bills not sued him over that? That's got to be like copyright infringement or something. And not like that.
I'm sure they're not too worried about it.
Well, the fucking Toronto Blue Jays sued Creighton over the Blue Jay logo, despite the fact that it's a completely different logo. But this is like Howard. It's literally the exact same logo as the Buffalo Bills. It's one of the reasons why I don't like the Toronto Blue Jays. They can go fuck themselves because how dare they sue my school? I mean, so they're the Blue Jays also. I mean, Creighton was the Blue Jays before freaking Toronto even existed.
I wish Max was here right now.
Max and I have talked about this before during baseball season.
Oh, okay.
World Rank wants to know if Bucknell got the same logo. I think Bucknell's is slightly different, but Bucknell's also some kind of wildebeest buffalo looking thing, isn't it? So would not be surprised. The funny thing is like all those like high schools that just use the logos of the big teams, and then they all get away with it too. Nobody ever sues the high school for copyright infringements.
I don't have a line on this Iowa game. Oh, money line minus 250.
Adam says that the Hawkeyes can't shoot any worse than they did in the first half, and they're tied. You can actually, okay, so we got some halftime lines here. The total 71.5 on the second half. That'd be a pass for me. But the Iowa spread is -4. So if you wanted to take Iowa right now, you're getting like a 1.5 of value versus the closing line pregame. And I mean, you would got to think Iowa's got to come out a little bit better in the second half than they did the first.
Yeah.
Like I said, they look pretty blah in that first half, and it's still a tie game. The Hawkeyes could very easily go on like a 10-2 run and blow the game open in the second half. You never know.
I want to kick myself in the nuts for not betting the Miami Heat.
Can I fly to New Jersey and do it for you? It might be more fun that way.
I want you to stay as far away from my nuts as possible.
I mean, when you put it that way, you almost make it sound dirty. Ugh.
Any hockey plays from anyone tonight? No, but I promise I'll get somebody on for the Stanley Cup playoffs, which start when? And when do the playoffs start?
Around the same time NBA playoffs start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's several months away.
Any thoughts on OKC at 13.5 spread?
I mean, I would lean that way, but so far I haven't liked what I've seen from this team at all. I miscapped at how much Chris Paul means to this team, and if you watch them on offense, they're just disjointed. It's kind of like the criticisms you see of Houston, where they're just kind of taking turns trying to win one-on-one and not really moving like a team. And I think that's it just shows you how much development and how point guard is. I mean, it's not like quarterbacking where it's super essential, but it does take a little while for these young players to learn. And Schrader's never been much of a facilitator himself, so he's still getting to the rack, but he's not helping his teammates. And I mean, I did like, okay, I still think they have a run with them, but I'm not really too happy about the way this play is going so far.
It's going to be sad next Sunday when there's no more football.
Yeah, I'll miss it. Football season goes by so fast.
It does.
I think so. My plays have already kicked off for the night on the women's side. Let me see if I don't think my men's plays are tonight. I think they're tomorrow. I mean, I lean to the Sandgren, but do you really want to bet against Roger Federer? So that's, I think, the only men's match, unless there's a late night one. Let me see, is there a midnight one?
Djokovic.
Yeah, and then Raonic Djokovic. I'm not getting involved in that one either. I'm not getting involved in that either. I mean, you could do something fun or exotic, like I know Snides, who's on SBR with me today, took the first set to go to a tiebreak at like +2 something. You know, it's kind of like a fun flyer, that the idea that Raonic has been serving so well that he gets to a tiebreak in the first before he kind of melts down. That's kind of an exotic play that I don't know.
How about
I don't know if it hits as much.
how about Goff and McNally into the quarterfinals? Huh?
Yep. You get. I like that one for like a half unit. I actually played that myself. Are you getting like +240, +250?
I'm not sure, but I was watching last night, watching them play. They're gonna win if they stay
Right.
together. If they stay together, they will win multiple majors. I think as doubles players, they look so good together.
You know what I read today? They're 17-4, and on the pro tour, I don't think they. Now remember, they didn't play every tournament, but they never lost as juniors when they entered in the big tournaments as a team. So they're actually a team that's played together for a while. They're not just two players that decided to come together and play. Now the drawback is are playing probably the second best team. Well, they're ranked second best as well, but I think there's a gap between them and Shea and Stritzova, number one team. But I think there's a gap between number 1 and 2. But Timea Babos and Kiki Mladenovic have played together for a while and are a formidable team. But I thought the too high too for a young team that's improving team. I guess it's the doubles team. They're improving every weekend. +250. I took a little flyer on it. I put a little half unit on it.
OKC just went on a 10-0 run.
Yeah, that made me feel a little better right after I dismissed their chances of making a comeback. But since I'm already pretty heavily invested, I'm pretty happy back on the number. They're up by 7 here in the third.
That's what I want to see.
It's kind of the way that style works. Yeah, that's the way that style works when you're playing one-on-one. I mean, you can just go on these little runs because if you get a matchup you like for example, their Schrader to like the guy that was guarding him, it works out really well. But it can definitely be real streaky because you can just switch the defenders too. So, and Viper says they're a good fourth quarter team, and that's what I'm hoping for, especially at home. IPO jumped in at 7.5. That's cool. We got 5. Dutch Boy's talking about the 8-point swing. So yeah, pretty happy about that.
Jazz only down 3 right now against the Rockets.
Going to the line though.
Yeah.
For 3.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, the other team.
Oh, that's bad. Max, do you like Iowa -4? A little bit of a discount.
Not from what I've seen in the first half.
No, you don't think they come out better in the second half? I mean, didn't they play the worst they could and it's still a tie game?
They played the worst they could, but you're missing open shots, and I don't like that.
All right.
Fuck. What was I gonna say? Yeah, that Howard State totals come back down a little. Kind of questioning what to do there, whether to buy off of it, but then I have a pretty healthy middle. And then I'm still focused on this Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Southern first half, trying to get that over for us. Oklahoma State and Kansas. I took an additional total under. It was 126.5 at +195. So I'm going to see if that hits. What I've noticed with Kansas and Oklahoma, when you're on the right side of the total, that total's missing. Like, let's say you're on the under, you're going to be lucky if you get within 10 points of that closing line. So there is some significant value in my estimations by my numbers on Kansas and selling a shitload of points on their totals. Not for every game, but depends on the game and the matchup. Sweating out a bunch of games right now. Mainly being this North Carolina A&T Delaware State over. I don't think it's going to hit. Morgan State, I need them to come back. They're up 2 right now. Howard and Coppin State, we know what's going on there. And this Bethune-Cookman game. So this is an interesting spot. Cookman was out to a big lead at halftime. That evaporated in the second half. Really high scoring, 5 minutes. I think it was like 28 points. And now it's a 1-point game. So wish I could get eyes on it, but I don't think I can get a stream. So if anyone has one, please put it in the chat or send it to my DM on my new Twitter, and I will appreciate that.
Very nice.
And Mavericks just stepped on the gas, 8-0 run.
Yeah, I just saw that. I didn't want to
Yeah.
say because it was depressing, and I don't like talking about depressing news. But, tis what it is.
Yeah, it was a couple. And another thing where I said I think I really underestimated Chris Paul and that offensive end that time, just not communicating properly. So they were trying to go under on the picks against Luka, and so they're basically leaving him open for 3, and he's making them pay. Hopefully Billy Donovan can correct that really quickly because they can't continue to let that happen. They have to understand each person's assignment on there, but allowing Luka to hit wide open threes is horrible. You either switch and have the big man at least put a hand in his face, but you can't have he's too good a shooter to try and run under the screen like that, like they were doing on those last couple plays.
Northern Arizona looking strong, Mac.
Yeah, but the over, not so much. So, splitting doesn't mean a profit.
I mean, if you have them both at plus 105.
Yes, but everyone knows the odds that I got them at, and then they wouldn't.
Max, I'm trying to be positive here.
Oh,
I'm trying to have positive energy.
I can give you
Damn.
lessons on positivity.
That forehand down the line by Barty was sweet.
It's called have fluids extracted.
Oh
all
my
day, every
gosh.
day. The only way to live life
Extracted.
with a little less fluid in you.
You know what? You just make more, right?
Yes, some men do. Some men don't.
I mean, there's not a finite amount.
If you want to get technical about it and take the humor out of it, that's fine. But I'm just gonna call you an asshole.
I'll be back. I'll be right back.
Really? That's like fucking 12 minutes. Jeez.
John.
All right, so off the rail subjects for tonight.
Here we go.
One,
Here we go.
one being, does Justin Trudeau prefer someone wearing underwear or not while he's banging his wife? He probably doesn't want to stare at another
While the other person's banging his wife?
Yes, he doesn't want to stare at another man's asshole, but he definitely wants to do
Oh, I'm
that.
pretty sure he likes
Advocate.
staring at other dudes' assholes while they fuck his wife.
Okay, well, then I'm going to trust you on this one. I think
He's a
these are
cuck.
sources. Yes, but usually it's I can't even get in the mind of a cuck, so I don't know. Where the hell is who's a real cuck in the chat? Who can I name?
Oh, Max, don't attack our chat. We love our chat, even when they talk shit about us.
Speak for yourself. Oh yeah, that fucking mutt, Michael Jordan. Hey, Michael Jordan. Yeah, if you're in this
Michael
chat,
Jordan hasn't been in the chat in ages. I haven't seen that dude in forever. I think
Yeah, he
got banned.
hasn't hung out with us lately.
good. I
I
don't
think
like
he
that
likes us.
guy.
I think Jay banned him.
Good. I don't like him either.
I haven't seen that dude in like a month, man.
He literally fucking likes to fucking touch children, so I'm not down with guys like that. So fuck him. And fuck the goddamn fucking sled he came in on. Polar bear eats his ass. Why can't I get this goddamn Kansas game on? This IPTV is pissing me off. Showing me a blank screen.
The Kansas game's on ESPN, Max. Is ESPN racist against Canadians?
No, ESPN
Come
showing
on.
ESPN showing the
God
game.
damn it.
What's wrong, spread? What are we losing?
I mean, it's fine. They got, pretty much the possession there. It ended up working in for us, but they got the ideal possession. That was Justin Jackson shooting a deep three, and that guy's not even good for mid-range too. Then they just weren't able to corral the rebound, and that's just, when you're on a team, that's your pet peeve is the way they finish a defensive stop. It's like making a tackle in football. You have to get the rebound after playing good defense. So just a little frustrated, but there we had another missed shot and a rebound. Let's see how well we do here. And Ash Barty held like an epic 6-minute game there, 9 minutes and 53 seconds. Even though, what was the joke? 2 points because more than 2 points. I think LeBron said that. That game, more than just one game there mentally for her to pull out a 9 game with, it was like 6 or 7 deuces. So fantastic for Barty backers right there. And Dallas has gone cold again. Let's make a run. Oklahoma City, let's make this run, guys. Let's make this run. I want to keep my article streak going, guys. Hit that, Dennis.
How sick of AC/DC do you think people who attend Thunder games regularly are?
They probably like it. That's a good song. If you're going to hear any song like repeatedly, that's not a bad one to have.
That's true.
I mean, I think I listened to it every day when I was like 16.
Wow.
They're saying OK State's not looking too good tonight.
I think that I need to get on the over in this fucking Coppin State game for the show, but I'd be fucking setting myself up for like a 5-point middle.
That's a bad deal, Max. I told you to stop with those Polish middles.
I know, but it's just like from watching this first half, I just see Coppin fucking like completely comfortable. They just put up 44 points. Like that was not expected. I expected them to put up between 34 and 38, not 44. 6 points makes a difference in a total like this. Those 6 points is basically the difference between me fucking staying under my number on the under and losing. It's just beating me in the fucking face right now.
Brad Hansen wants to know if it's worth.
No, I already saw that question. Do not take it. No, it's not worth it.
The Jazz are trash, though. Spread. The Jazz are trash.
Why? Because they have one bad quarter on one of the days. It's the hardest to handicap in the year because there's no.
The Jazz are trash.
We have no actionable data on how teams are going to play after an NBA legend dies that a lot of players have relationships with.
They're trash.
I mean, we were able to do it yesterday, and it worked out for us. But I mean, if I miss my picks today, I'm not really too upset. And I'm not going to – let's say we go on a streak, and Max has had this happen too, right? What's the first thing you do when you're on a bad streak, Max? You fuck with your model, right? You go, okay, the model's not working. You make adjustments, and you back test. If I do bad this week or, I'm not fucking with my model, because this is something we've never dealt with before and probably won't do – hopefully we'll never deal with again. So
special circumstances.
Right? Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it goes for this week. So we're hanging out, and this is our way of coping, and we're having fun, and we're keeping our unit solid because we know, I mean, the edges that we're identifying may not necessarily be there tonight or this whole week, for example. Like, for example, the Lakers are off tomorrow. They're not even playing because the whole organization, from what I've been hearing, is just torn up to like paralyzed almost. They've almost stopped all types of basketball operations down in Los Angeles. And I'm sure a lot of these players, he was around teaching people in clinics, working with them one-on-one, still playing pickup ball. A lot of these guys had personal relationships with them, as much as, we were inspired by them. It's hitting these guys even harder. I think these are really hard games to cap. But regardless, I don't think there's any value in taking Houston money. And I think that Utah will get this back, and I feel bad that Jay didn't get that hit. But I'll tell you what, I still think it was a good bet for him to get plus money on that. You know, I mean,
Wisconsin.
It's just kind of the way things go. Like, especially when you're dealing with these plus money bets, Ants, and I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm saying it just for the chat's benefit too. When you're dealing with these plus money bets, we're not even saying it's going to happen more than 50% of the time. You know, but if you get more than plus 200, now you're saying that you just need to hit it 35% of the time. So it sucks, you know, when you're giving out the play and for that individual night to take the L on your account and on, you know, your spreadsheet. But we know in the long run, I'll just switch the subject to the Kings are garbage. I would agree there, Viper. They look like shit right now. Do I think the Lakers guaranteed win on Friday? No. I mean, it's so hard to say. Like, Damian Lillard had a personal relationship with him too. It's not just them that are affected by it. Do I expect like a bomb performance from LeBron? Yes, I do. And I'll probably be looking at the Lakers, but nothing's guaranteed. This is even more, you know, this is just high variance. And then they're talking about using the Will Hill app in Reno. That's cool. I like to go up to Reno. Ant left us, Max. It's just the Max and Spread show.
So yeah, Frick, Spread. Sacramento State, these guys, like, you can't trust these guys on the road. Simple as fucking that. Like, everyone was fucking dick sucking these guys because they're fucking beastly at fucking home and they love to fucking keep that game under.
Oh, wow.
But, like, it is not the case on the road with this team. So, as much as I want everybody to fucking get their money, like, I guess I wasn't strongly enough. I didn't word it strongly enough on Jimmy's show today, but, like, God fucking damn it, you know?
Yeah.
Wisconsin comes out on 8-2 run to start the second half.
Like, you take away, I'll say it for the third time, you take away that Patton performance. It's a different game. Bethune-Cookman out to a 7-point lead, a minute 55 left, 137. So the under is looking, I won't call it safe, but I'll say that it's not losing right now. I'm very nervous about it, as you guys can tell. Southern putting in work on Alabama A&M. Glad that I did not bet that because I would have been on the wrong side. Alcorn up 7.
OKC made a little run there. It's only a 6-point game now.
Prairie View, Mississippi Valley State.
No, they're down by 11 again.
Down by 11 again?
Yeah.
I'm looking at 24-18.
6-point game in Kansas.
What game are you looking at?
Oklahoma State.
Oh, I thought you meant Thunder. I'm sorry. Hey, it might be a little early, but I think that our guy in the chat, Ron Lofton, is going to hit his 10-unit whale play of the day. Looking like, you know what I'm saying? How does he do it? That's just I have to ask you, Ron. How do you do it? In those 10 whale plays. Love it, Ron. Glad you're able to have a little luck go your way with the fat fingers there.
Who do you call fat?
Jay.
No, he's big boned or chubby.
That's what he says to fucking make himself feel better.
Oh, Jesus.
He's been gone for like 11 minutes. I'm allowed to fucking say it now. I said he'd be gone for 12. That's going to lose. Glad
That's so rude.
Hey, Ant, did you see they were betting over under on how long you'd be on the show on Saturday?
Why?
They said at 3.5 hours you're overhit on the showtime on Saturday. In the chat, they had a bet on how long you'd be on the show.
I mean, like, people act like there's not shit to go do. Sorry, I have like stuff to do on the
no,
weekend.
the stuff you have to do is be on the show. But next time,
Yeah, that's what you have to do, Ant.
To be on, so I could fucking rig the bet and fucking.
I mean, it's like I gotta.
Yeah.
It's like you get a full-time job and then you come home and do the show at night. When am I supposed to like go do things? The
We don't give a
weekend.
fuck about that. We just care about you being on the show.
Well,
Exactly. That's why.
I don't know, Jim, if Ash goes for Ash goes for the. I don't think any of us would have a chance. Put it that way.
what's on the?
Would you guys guard the 3-point line? Fuck.
Yeah, fuck. Guard the
Whale,
3-point
Ron
line.
Lofton.
Oh, Jay's back. Max, do you want to apologize for the mean things you said about Jason?
Jay's back.
You know what? You love to out people, don't you? We're trying to hit a fucking total and just fucking worry about that.
Jay, Max called you Four Eyes.
Called them fucking worse than that.
I was trying to be nice, Max. I was trying to unthrow you under the bus.
I said that he likes to fucking stick moldy mortadella in his sandwich and eat it.
He does love mortadella. He's got like this
He eats
obsession with it.
mortadella. That's the problem. He never eats the shit. Oh my god, Wisconsin, you sons of bitches. Wow.
Did you ever get that Reuben sandwich I told you to get, Jay? Or did you go with some fucking random Italian bullshit that you always eat?
Random Italian bullshit for sure.
Okay.
I ate a burger actually that day.
It was an Italian burger.
It was with Parmigiana and marinara sauce on it.
That's what that's what they use instead of ketchup over there. They're just like, they say it in like a real like southerner accent, just like we don't have ketchup.
Tonight I am eating chicken tenders, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
From where? That sounds like you just ordered Popeyes or something.
KFC.
And you haven't mentioned the most important part of your meal.
You live in an area where you have a countless number of legitimate delis, probably within walking distance of your house.
Can I enjoy KFC like once a year?
No, it's bullshit. KFC is garbage, Jay.
I think you can enjoy it.
Garbage.
I think you can enjoy it because I would enjoy it also.
The only thing enjoyable about KFC is throwing it in the trash.
No.
Oh my God. I don't really know what to say. I just don't get it.
If I worried about what anybody on this show thinks about me, I should kill myself.
Jay, if you killed yourself, we'd have no show.
No, I'm sure you guys would power on.
I don't know about that. I don't think I'd ever sit here for fucking multiple hours. No, I don't think so. So, you just fucking better fucking eat a fucking dick and shut up.
I mean, shut up.
If you do shut up, then that just allows me to say things like that. So better off.
Viral Video's got a nice little live hockey play for us. The Lightning -1.5.
Hockey?
Big plus money on that.
What is that sport, hockey?
It's you're a fucking Canadian and you're asking about what's the sport hockey?
What is it? I never heard of it. No, I don't know. I'm too mentally challenged to know these things.
Max, you disappoint me.
Yep. I've been hearing that often lately.
Chris Brady says KFC isn't that bad. I mean, it's not good, but eat some KFC, Jay.
There's nothing wrong with KFC's chicken tenders. I don't know about mashed potatoes, though.
Harry Doherty says, I can't tell the difference between Americans and Canadians.
The difference is I fart much louder. Passing gas, it's a Canadian thing. We pass gas louder than Americans do. It was a way to communicate with our neighbors when we didn't have electricity or telephone wiring. So we didn't get that until about 2005.
Difference between Canadians and Americans is Canada sucks.
That's kind of simplistic.
Yeah. The difference is 27 cents on the dollar in the exchange rate.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, what's so good about your dollar?
It's like the world currency, dude. No one wants to borrow Canadian money.
Well, because we're fucking just a little stricter with who we give out money to.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
That's how you guys became the debtor instead of. Excuse me. That's how you became the dettee instead of the debtor.
The dettee. The United States isn't in debt.
Yeah, you guys are in fucking huge debt.
No, it's not. The
yeah, I know
national debt.
you've explained that before, but
Oh yeah, it's a complete ruse, man. It's an accounting trick. It means nothing.
it obviously means something.
No, all it is something for politicians to use as an issue to get people riled up during elections, but it really does mean nothing. There's a reason why no matter who's in power, it keeps going up.
Jay, did you get 63?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're the only country that can create your own currency and and all your debt is in your own currency, you're not in debt.
Haven't they borrowed like hundreds of billions from China?
Okay, American dollar. Where did China get that money in the first place? You got to start asking yourself these questions. Who creates the United States dollar? The Fed. The Fed's the only one who could create the United States dollar. How the fuck do we borrow our own fucking money from China? Where did China get United States dollars to loan the United States? Think about it. All the United States has to do is pay interest on the treasury bonds. The debt isn't even dollars, it's treasury bonds. You own treasury bonds in your stock portfolio. All you got to do is pay the interest on the treasury bonds, and it's good. You never pay down the national debt. It's completely pointless because it's nothing. All the national debt is a historical record of the money that the United States government spent into the economy without deleting from the economy through taxation. That's it.
Let's go. What are you doing?
This idea that it's something that you have to pay or whatever is it's a complete falsehood. I mean, all the politicians know it. That's why the debt and the deficit goes up no matter who's in. Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. You ever notice every single Republican and every single Democrat when they run for these offices all say, oh, we got to lower the deficit and the debt. And yet it gets higher every fucking time. There's a reason why, because they all know it's a fucking ruse. It's an accounting trick. It means
didn't Clinton lower it? Clinton lowered it.
He just balanced the budget.
Just make one.
Yeah, he didn't lower the national debt. He balanced the budget, which
did anybody see the Open?
Yeah, you're right.
Anybody see the Open to Saturday Night Live this weekend?
No. That would have all been watching Saturday Night Live.
Oh my god!
It was really funny, bro. It was really funny. It was a play on how like Alan Dershowitz is like the worst human being in the world for representing like the worst people on the planet, and Kate McKinnon is the devil and they're in hell.
At least put.
And Adam Driver was the guest host, and he played Jeffrey Epstein. You have to watch the Open. from Saturday.
What, did Adam Driver not kill himself?
It's yeah. You got to watch it. It was funny, man.
We
funny.
got 10 seconds to win this.
John Lovitz played Alan Dershowitz. Oh, fucking funny.
We're probably gonna push.
And Halsey was the musical guest. I would live in her vagina for the rest of my life and hibernate like a bear if I could.
Who?
Halsey.
I've never heard of her, but okay. So you're saying she's
never
hot?
You've never heard of Halsey?
I've never heard of her either.
Is she a current pop artist, Jay? Because I don't listen to any current music.
She's one of the biggest like, I don't know, pop stars or musicians.
Yeah, I don't have an 11-year-old daughter, so I'm not up to date on this.
Oh my God, she is just.
Yeah, the people in the chat are asking if I'm serious. I like, guys, when you're a 35-year-old white male without children, you lose touch of like current pop artists super fast.
If if like I had the power, if somebody came to me and was like,
boom,
oh nice.
What did we cash, Max?
Good job, Max. Good job, Max.
Well,
if I had
something on this show.
If I had the power, like God was like, anybody you want, bro, yours for life. You want to live in that vagina for life? You got it. It would be Halsey.
I thought it would be like
what was it? The first half over in the Arkansas Pine Bluff game, right?
Yep. Boom, and I hit that Bethune-Cookman double. That's fucking sweet.
I gotta like look her up. How do you spell her name?
Halsey.
Oh, Halsey. Okay. Let's see here.
She is stunningly beautiful.
Her music video, You Should Be Sad, has 18 million views on YouTube already in just 2 weeks. Oh, so she must be popular.
She's all right, Jesse.
I'm going to
come on, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look her up too.
I'm watching her music video right now. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
Well, yeah, I agree, Jay. Quite beautiful.
Thank you, my friend. Oh, yeah, they're playing Kobe's farewell game on ESPN right now.
Okay, I made it about a minute and a half through the song. Not too bad. I have no comment on her looks. I mean, she's obviously a pretty young lady, but the music wasn't too shabby.
Oh yeah, I like her a lot, bro. She's
yeah.
I'm not into like poppy music really, but I like her.
Oh, I mean, I love metal. I mean, we were just talking about Cannibal Corpse and stuff, but I also love pop music. You know, Lady Gaga's one of my favorite artists. I can listen to her. I'll have to check her out a little bit more when we're done.
Yeah, a lot of good songs. You would dig her for sure. I can't believe the Jazz are struggling right now with the Rockets.
Ron says, remember people, Ant never saw an episode of Seinfeld either. I mean, well, what does cable have to do with Halsey, though, Corey? She's a music artist.
That is truly one of the most unbelievable. Like, we throw the word unbelievable around a lot, right? That's one of the most unbelievable things that I've ever heard of as a grown-up.
Well, then
that you ever watched an episode of Seinfeld, yeah.
I mean, sorry.
You don't have to apologize, but it still doesn't.
Well,
not make it
at this point in my life, I'm not that interested in revisiting 90s sitcoms. So why do I need to go? Like, I never watched it when it was on the air, and now it's been off the air forever. Like, why do I need to go revisit it? I mean, I got plenty of other shit to watch.
It's the most profitable syndication show in the history of the world.
And okay,
so it's never left television. It's on 6 different channels a day.
Yeah, I don't watch that much TV.
Well, there you go.
I'm at work and then I'm doing the show with you. Like, when the fuck am I supposed to have time to go watch Seinfeld?
Have you checked out that new show on HBO yet? The Outsider?
No.
It's good.
I'm behind on like most of my shows, Jay. I'm trying to watch the second season of Lost in Space, and I made it through the first episode, and I gotta revisit that. I was going to watch the 4th season of Santa Clarita Diet, or the 3rd season of Santa Clarita Diet, but then I found out that they canceled the show, and the last season ends on a cliffhanger, so I don't want to be mad, so I'm not going to watch the last season, because then it's like I don't want to watch it, have it end on a cliffhanger, and that never gets revealed. Stupid Netflix. Santa Clarita Diet was a good show. I definitely need to find time to watch more college football. I watched 500 million hours of college football this year. Can't really watch any more than what I did. 66 Slammy 66 says that he just watched his first episode of it the other day and couldn't even finish the full episode. It's not funny. So there you go, Jay. 6
Of what show? Of what
Seinfeld.
show? Oh.
What do you think of Seinfeld, Spread?
I mean, I like it.
You're just like, I like it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a good show, right? It's weird. I mean, it's because you haven't seen it, so you might have fun. For us, it's like, oh, I remember this episode, and I wasn't I didn't watch it religiously, every week. It wasn't appointment viewing, but I mean, you have so many friends that watch it, and it was, you go over to someone's house and it'd be on. So I've seen enough episodes to where I know most of the classic episodes and stuff. I've seen it. No Soup for You. I've seen when George becomes the GM of the Yankees.
I think that the 2 greatest sitcom characters in the history of television is Archie Bunker and George Costanza. And
really? I like Kramer.
Yeah.
I like Kramer on that show the best.
Yeah, well, George,
2 different types of humor.
Costanza is basically Larry David. It was the character that was based on Larry David in the show, and which makes sense. I love him. I love Curb, and George is just.
Jesse Neiman says Simpsons or Seinfeld if you had to pick one to watch for the rest of your life. Obviously, The Simpsons. 1990 Simpsons is probably the best television show of all time. Obviously, Simpsons for the last 10 to 15 years is average at best. But the 1990 Simpsons is easily probably the best television show ever.
Am I taking the Jazz live at -7? No.
Ron Lofton says, I'm old enough that I watched the original Lost in Space in the early 60s. I watched the original Lost in Space in the early 90s. I would definitely say the new Lost in Space is a superior show. But 1960s science fiction was always really lame and cheesy until Star Wars or Star Trek changed the genre for the better. Christopher Reeves agrees with me on the comment with The Simpsons. Oh, finally, somebody agrees with me. 66 Slammy 66 says, although he does hate Seinfeld, could not get through that episode. He does love Curb Your Enthusiasm. So there you go.
Curb is great.
I don't know, Jay. You keep babbling on about this fucking Seinfeld shit. I'm gonna just watch it to shut you up. But Martin Riggs is spouting nonsense in the chat right now. Early Family Guy is way better than late Simpsons. That's true. But the 1990s era Simpsons is the best show of all time.
Any part of Family Guy is better than The Simpsons the last decade.
Yeah, that's the problem with The Simpsons is you have the greatest show ever, and yet you also have very mediocre show that for some reason they just won't cancel, even though nobody watches it anymore. You know what I mean? Viper BN says The Office is trash. No, The Office was great. I love The Office.
I like how everyone's making you in the chat. You're becoming a bunch of characters. You're Frasier, you're Miles. Come on, let's get me on some characters in this chat.
Coco Bongo says, if you like Frasier, we might fight. I don't know if I like Frasier. I liked Frasier back when Frasier was on, but I have not revisited Frasier since it went off the air. So I don't know what I think of Frasier now, but at the time I liked Frasier. So I don't know.
I don't like this card tonight at all, man. I'm struggling to find any place to make a play.
Jim Rome's a deuce says Frasier's dad was funny.
George Costanza's dad is just the best.
Jesse Neva says, I don't take stands on many things in life, but The Office is most definitely not trash. I agree with you. The Office is I found The Office to be a great show. Also, if you like The Office, Parks and Recreation was a really good show too.
Which Office do you like more?
I never actually watched the British version. Although the British version was only like one season. It was only like only one or two seasons. So it's like less than 16 episodes.
I like the American one better. I've seen them both.
Yeah.
All right, let me double check back. What do we got going on here?
Wisconsin's taking it to it. Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Wisconsin's taking it to Iowa. I mean,
yeah, Oklahoma State narrowed that gap and started playing pretty good in that first half. It's a 5-point game now at halftime. Okie State versus Kansas. The Rockets are going off. They're up 10 right now against the Jazz. I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
Dave said, how fucking dare you?
Well, Dave's British. He says there's only one version. How fucking... I mean... Shut up, Dave. The Office is great. Only one.
Ricky Gervais is great, though.
Yeah. Richard Luna says Reno 911. Yeah, I was a fan of Reno 911 when it was on. Oh, God, Reno
Now you
911.
got a show that speaks my fucking language. That is fucking classic.
Reno 911.
Classic. You want to
Yeah.
piss yourself? You want to smell like piss after watching a couple episodes? Yeah, that's a show that's going to happen. It's going to happen on that show.
Reno 911 was good, but classic is like the Kids in the Hall.
No. See, I didn't like Kids in the Hall.
Oh, I loved Kids.
I was not a fan whatsoever of Kids in the Hall.
Reno 911 was so fucking funny.
Reno
The
911 made
movie
me
is
piss
amazing.
myself. Like I remember I'd stay up late at night smoking bong hits, just fucking watching illegal streams of all the episodes. It was fucking good fucking laughing times on other times that I would have been walking the streets and fucking
Ron Lofton
looking
says
for cars
Golden
to steal.
Girls worst ever. I don't know. The Golden Girls is a funny show. I think the Golden Girls had some sitcom writing. I think the Golden Girls, if you look back at like 1980 sitcoms, there's not really any that were better than the Golden Girls, in my opinion. There's a lot of bad, unfunny. Like the 1980s was known for its unfunny sitcoms, but the Golden Girls is not one of them.
I'll always like the Golden Girls because of how much I like Betty White.
Oh my God, her Rose on that show was so funny. She was such a dimwit.
Betty White is a national fucking treasure. And the mother was hysterical.
Dorothy?
No, Sophia.
Oh, Sophia. Yeah, Dorothy's mom, Sophia. Yeah, it's fucking great. Yeah, but it's like, and you watch the Golden Girls, but then you watch like other 80s sitcoms, and oh my God, like, yeah, like, I literally, there's no other 80s sitcom that I can actually watch these days. They're all so bad. Like The Facts of Life and Growing Pains and Silver Spoons and Punky Brewster and Charles in Charge. Jesus fucking Christ.
Charles in Charge.
Oh, there's so many shit sitcoms. And what was it with the 1980s with rich white dudes adopting African American kids? There's like 4 fucking shows. That was literally the premise behind like what 4 fucking shows, and they're all terrible. They were all terrible. Like Webster, the show that Gary Coleman was on, fucking Silver Spoons. It's like, Jesus Christ, get a different plot.
Oh, I like News Radio. That was a good show. I don't think that was the 80s, though. I think that was the early 90s.
Yes, News Radio was like the late 90s.
All right, and I'm not going to give any official plays because I haven't been watching it. But do you want to go over the halftime lines here for the Houston Rockets Jazz game? Because that's the last NBA game on the board. Everything else is kind of clearing up, and I can at least give you some leans here. But
yeah, I don't have the lines yet,
game.
but I can tell you it's probably going to be the Jazz minus a lot because they were 14-point favorites and they're down by 14. So I'm going to imagine that's going to be some kind of weird bounce back spot here. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
It always takes like 15 seconds, 30 seconds to get a line.
And they're not giving us much in the way of being able to come back and get a great number here on the Jazz. I'm seeing -1.5 for the full game, -6.5 for the third quarter. I'm the total 214.5 and 54.5 for the third quarter. The score right now is 59-46. So,
all right. So I'm looking at
assuming the Jazz
-11 on the second half. Jazz -11, so that would be what, +2 for the full game. And then 109.5 is the spread or is the total. And the Jazz second half team total 60.5. I mean, they're basically trying to say the Jazz get to 107.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me go through these. I'm, like I said, in place here because I don't really want to get involved. For the people who do, I would say that on that team total, I'd probably go under. They might just be mailing it in tonight.
The Rockets is 49.5. Does that seem like low-hanging fruit to you? Oh, wow. It just went down to 48.5. So apparently someone hit that under.
Really? That does seem kind of low. Let me get the numbers for the whole team here and see who's really leading the way.
Wow, this total in the Iowa-Wisconsin game shot right back up into the 130s. So they had some good runs there.
Yeah, and to show you how awesome my reads tonight have been tonight, I said who's going to be the main point producer for the Rockets. Eric Gordon, kind of saying in a dismissive manner, and he's put up 24 points so far. Daniel House Jr. helping out. I think Daniel House is a solid player. He's got 12. Rivers has 9. Cephalosha has 6, and much. So basically, if you're taking that over under, you're saying, can Eric Gordon continue to score? I can understand why people would think that he is not going to keep this up, but boy, he might be excited for his first time really getting some serious usage just in the corner and watching Westbrook and Harden dribble. So it's tough to say. The Jazz are really just having a terrible night overall. The only player who seems to be playing well is Donovan Mitchell. Gobert only has 4 points so far, 5 rebounds, so it's even under that prop that we were looking at. Joe Ingles only has 4 points, so obviously another tough night for him. And I guess I can kind of see it now. Obviously, we talk about hindsight being so smart, but the lineup they can run with Gordon, who's not really that good a defender, but House Jr. is pretty good. Rivers is good. Cephalosha is good. And I'll be honest, I'm not really too sure about this guy M. Frazier's game, and that's where this capping this game is really weird because I don't know Frazier or Clemens that have getting playing time right now. I do know Tucker is good. So you know what? This Jazz, this Rockets kind of pared down lineup isn't too bad defensively. So I think if I were to make a play, it would be the under on the Jazz game and just on the Jazz team total. Did you say it was 60?
Yeah,
because I don't have a team total at Bovada.
The second half Jazz team total is 60.5, and the Rockets is 48.5. I mean, doesn't that 48 seem like low-hanging fruit to grab that over? I mean, if the Rockets slow down, shouldn't they still at least score 50?
I don't know. It could be slow fourth quarter if the game stays like this. I think you're better off. I don't know. Like I said, that's why I just don't really want to play this game. I'm like completely speculating.
Max looks like he's aggressive at the moment. Are you winning a bet, Max? You're just aggressively eating your food?
I'm losing a bet that I don't want to lose.
Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, I usually prefer to lose the bets I want to lose because, there have been times when I make bets that I want to lose.
You know what? Fucking jam a bottle of fucking Gatorade down your throat.
I don't drink Gatorade. It's sugar water.
You would.
Pure sugar water. It's bad for you.
I just don't believe that the Jazz are losing this game.
Well, they're down by 13, so they're losing at the moment.
I am.
The crazy thing is they're like minus 110 on the money line. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not betting a team that's down by 13 points at minus 110 on a money line. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I am right now, and I'm making it an official play. So how about that?
All right, then I'm joining you. I'm joining you then, Jay. I'm on it with you.
I'll pass. I mean, I understand why you think
We're on the Jazz. Man.
I understand why you think the Jazz should win. I mean, I don't disagree with that, but I'm not going to put my money on it when they're
13 points is nothing in the NBA. We're talking about a team that was a minus 1,200 favorite and has won like 25 of their last 27.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I'm not interested in betting essentially even money with a 13-point deficit.
So I'm taking a shot. It's really the only thing I see that I like that's left on the board.
Yeah, I'll join you. Maybe we can turn tonight around and get a win in my pocket here.
To everybody in the chat, I'm sorry. The board sucked. I sucked. There was no energy. Show sucked. But we'll be back on Thursday night. There's nothing left on the board really that Max is going to attack in college. I don't see anything worth betting in the NBA spread. You see anything else?
No, I mean, every game's done except for that Jazz game. We just gave out a play. We're not going to double back down on it. We're just going to hope we're on the right side, but I'm not trying to put any more money on that game. So,
yeah, Thursday we'll have a big Super Bowl prop show. We'll go through the hundreds of props that are going to be on the board and try to get as many out of the way as we can for Sunday. And if the guys see anything in basketball live play that they're going to make, they'll throw it out. But for the most part, we're going to go over these Super Bowl props. So that's it. 10:30 already. There's nothing really left on the board to bet anymore. So we'll call it a night. So we're out of here, boys. We'll be back on Thursday for Ant, Spread, Max, myself. We'll see you guys on Thursday. We're back after this.
Good night.